Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Chud Watch. I hope you are all doing wonderful today. I have good news, everyone. My YouTube monetization has been reinstated, so that's good. YouTube hit me up on Twitter today, and they were like, yep, we fucked up. Our bad. So, that's good. I just wanted to let everyone know, in case you donated, and I put a post on Patreon too. I wanted to say thank you everyone who joined the Patreon after I got demonetized. However, since monetization is back, if you only, like pledged because of the YouTube situation, I understand if you wanted to, be like, yoink, pulling back on the donation. I would understand. I just want everyone to know, and I made a post to that effect too. The Patreon's gonna remain and stay up just because I want to give people as many options as possible to support the show. So if you still want to be a patron there, that's great. We're still gonna do the patron-only streams and everything, of course. The Patreon will remain the way that we, planned it. And we're gonna add some other tiers at some point too. But just wanted to let everyone know, monetization on YouTube is back. And if that's the only reason you supported the Patreon, I understand if you want to retract your donation or get a refund or whatever, that's completely fine. Just thought I'd get everyone a heads up on that. But I'm very happy. I appreciate everyone who, on Twitter and everything, helped me get the word out to, YouTube and stuff, and made a big deal out of it, so they actually had a human being take a look at it. Oh, I guess I should explain what happened. Will they cover my losses retroactive? No, they won't. But it's okay. I was only down for 5 days, which isn't great, but it's not, devastating to me. I lost a week of YouTube revenue. It sucks, but I'll be okay. So anyway, what happened, at least from my point of view, multiple channels have covered me in the past couple weeks. Tim Pool did a thing on me on his podcast briefly. And there was a conspiracy video on BitChute that got some thousands of views. Remember the guy that had the dog conspiracy video? He did a video on me that was quite insulting, shocking. Anyway, and I think that, plus a lot of a call for an uprising people since he covered me. This is the perils of being someone who covers unstable people. They're going to come after you. So I think a lot of them came and falsely reported my content, which is why it got demonetized, because it's an automated system. Then I tweeted at YouTube. A bunch of people sort of echoed that sentiment. They retweeted and liked that tweet. They had an actual human being take a look at my content, and now they okayed it. So that's cool. Anyway, again, I just want to thank everyone for helping me out with that. Hopefully there's a little flag on my account now on YouTube that says, like, hey, if a bunch of people start reporting randomly, it might be because people are targeting me. So, will we look at that tomorrow? I don't even know if it's TOS. I'd have to go in and I'd have to edit the guy's video about me because it's incredibly transphobic and uses a lot of slurs. And even so, I don't think that would be mentally healthy for me to listen to that again, especially with a bunch of other people watching, so I don't think I'm gonna do it. It was a little funny, though, because he doesn't like... you know, as much as he insulted me, and that hurt, you know what hurt me more? In that video, I compared him to Hans Wormhat, and then he shit all over Hans Wormhat. And that offended me more, almost, that he was super mean to Hans Wormhat. I almost wanted to defend Hans Wormhat. God dang it, don't hurt my boy! Anyway, let me get to some of these bit messages and stuff. For those who weren't here yesterday, by the way, if you see me looking over here, I have a second monitor now, and that's where chat is. So if you see me looking this direction, that's why. TomG666 with 45 bits says last of my bits, but early bits nonetheless. Thank you very much. Sorry, lots of chat to go through. Logarth with 50 bits. Oopsie whoopsie, we did a little over-enforcement. Sorry for causing you pain and suffering. Please keep using Woo-Tube, cause it's your own wee choice. Oopsie poopsie. Monopoly. Alright, that's pretty good. Yeah, that's what they said. They literally used the term when they messaged me on YouTube about it. They obviously didn't say, we fucked up, but what they said was, sorry, we over-enforced our policy. So, fun. Towing24, 20 bits says, celebration biddies. Thank you. Querulous Artisan, thank you for subscribing with 5 months. Good evening. Good evening to you as well. That XY girl with 100 bits says, have some monetization. Thank you. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 40 bits. Damn, congrats, you're officially famous. If all it takes to be famous is being covered by Beanie Boy, that's a low bar. Cotton Candy 903, thank you for subscribing with a 7-month streak. You thought the right was against cancel culture? Only when it's against them. Jouster Zen, thank you for subscribing with Prime. 5-month streak. We almost have a sub, baby. Yes, we do. Start thinking of names. Argonian Bum, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. Much appreciated. Bymancer with 400 bits, thank you. We're at 97% of level 3 already. Nice. I'm probably gonna get I might get my steampunk hat today. It's been a while. I got the monitor already? Yeah, it was an Amazon Prime shipment, so I got it like a day and a half after. It was even quicker than the 2 days. A Colston with 20 bits. Tim Pool covered you? Yeah, briefly. I didn't actually watch the clip, but a bunch of his people came to my channel and were talking about it, and someone else let me know. He mentioned me on his podcast or something. Cotton Candy 903 with 100 bits says, glad to hear your channel is monetized again. Me too. That was about, I can't discuss specifics, but it's in the hundreds and hundreds of dollars a month. That was quite a few bills that I was gonna have less money for. Your dog's name with 100 bits, ban Logarth, so I never have to hear that again. Nah. Unfortunately, I don't have the power to ban. I've decided that arbitrarily. Not for the ooh-woo shit. I actually find it funny. Tinker Taylor 84 with 100 bits says, time to celebrate the glorious return of Queen Hannah. Comrade Big Dill, thank you for gifting a sub to the community. Sarsaparilla, thank you for subscribing. Red Bomber X354, thank you for subscribing with a 2-month streak. Pineapple on pizza, yay or nay? I'm not a fan, but I'm also not one of those people that if you do, I'm like, that's disgusting. I don't care. Put whatever you want in your pizza. Life's too short. Put everything you want on your pizza, okay, folks? I'll just get my own pizza with just cheese. A Soch garbage with 50 bits. I have 2 modes. Cheese pizza and meat lovers. There's no in between. It's either all cheese or it's like hamburger, ham, bacon, pepperoni. It's got to be all of the above or none. Aaliyah Bogwash, thank you for subscribing with a 5-month streak. Chrissia with 360 bits says, congratulations, biddies. Thank you. Good news for minimum wage. Let's take a look. Bardlock Moses with 1,000 bits says, screw YouTube. Thank you. Big news, the Progressive Caucus has secured the inclusion of a $15 minimum wage in the House's pandemic reconciliation package. This has been a leading priority for our caucus and would give 27 million low-wage workers a raise. Well, hopefully that'll work out and it won't get, like, removed at some point in the negotiation process if they have to negotiate. I don't know if that's if it's a budget reconciliation thing, they can pass it with 51, I think, but if it's not, they might need more. Oh, is there a oh, someone already banned the troll. Thank you, Baha. It's always fun when I miss the troll and I don't even get to see their message, because it's like, was it worth it? I didn't even feel insulted. I didn't see it. Mods are quick. I got the quickest mods on the web. I'm just gonna make everyone a mod. When everyone's a mod, no one is. Yeah, so what am I at? We're at, by the way, we're at 34% of the level 5 hype train. We might actually do it today with 3 minutes left. Avenger 1340, thank you for subscribing with Prime. The Creeping Darkness with 20 bits. Made a family of chuds on Sim 4. So far, Stickhammer has proved the most capable. Please tell me Tim Pool is in there. And Sargon. I want to see that game. Oh yeah, I should clarify. Tim Pool didn't cover me until after I was demonetized. You're right. It was the conspiracy people who covered me prior. Tim Pool covered me after. Sorry. High Level Ideas, thank you for subscribing with an 8-month streak. Says, hi, Hannah. Hello. CW Yat? C Wyatt, obviously. With 45 bits. Thank you. Ooh, focus. I gotta get a new camera at some point. Did you text me? Oh, sorry. Text answered. And yes, I'm okay, Baha. Don't worry. Can't be budget reconciliation? Okay, that's probably gonna be a pain in the ass then. Cotton Candy says, I like your hair, mine is getting long again and I can't do anything with it, and I hate it. I'm sure you'll be able to figure out something to do with it. Let me see. We're almost up to 300 viewers now. I'll just repeat myself again in case anyone got here a little later. Thank you, Shadow6743 for following. Princess Amelia, thank you for gifting 5 subs to the community. And we did it. Level 5 hype train. Beautiful. This is the first level 5 hype train we got in all month, I think. Nice. Master of Waddles, thank you for following. The Creeping Darkness says, Tim Pool, Shapiro, Jordan B, Peters, Dragon, Dump Truck, Rare Blight, and Shits McGee are the others. Beautiful. Ugh. Okay, we'll do steampunk D&D hat today for level 5. It's so nice. Look at how very not silly I look. I like me some hats. Have you noticed that? I'm a big fan of hats. It's like my bangs are too long, but also I gotta get my bangs trimmed. Because they're like just too long where they get pushed down by the hat and they get in front of my ears. 155 on the hype train, nice. Koya Tree, thank you for subscribing with a 9-month streak. 9 months, that's a sub, baby. Let's do a random name generator. Just random. Random. Generate name. What? Okay, our stream baby's name is Ippolit Karina Isaacson. So remember that, because I won't. Ippolit Karina Isaacson. Sure. Why not? Yeah, it does sound like a spell. Iron Gullet, thank you for subscribing with another... Oh my god, it's another 9-month streak! Okay, let's do it again. Hold on. Generate name! What is with this site? I assume it's a name from another country. Here's the name. Pero Izagani Abbott. That's the baby name. Pero Izagani Abbott. The locked character. Thank you for subscribing with a... Oh my god, is this another 9-month streak? Shit. Says, I'll be expecting the child support in the mail. Sure, the check's on the way. Let's do another name. What's this one gonna be? Hilarion Jimba Gorbold. Ugh. Hold on. Oh my god. Stop. We're gonna get a Time Lord name. We're gonna go with... This is... I think I used this to get the professor's name, or I used something similar. Was that Simlish? Let's go with the Nemesis, aka Tortoise Borathanianth. Sure. The only long Time Lord-esque name I know is the Professor's. Max Pokath Kekanagaman. It's my D&D character. Have we ever said that on the stream? I've said it to the other players in the game. The other characters know the Professor's real name, but I don't remember if the Professor's full name has ever come up on the D&D stream. It's Max Pokath Kekanagaman. Max for short. Bardlock Moses says fantasy name generator is good. Not as long as you've been watching. Oh, okay. I guess it hasn't really come up. Yeah. Max Pokath Kekanagaman. They found that out in like session 3 or 4 when the professor got drunk and told them, at the time it was the professor was a he, told them his name. Because, like, their real name's supposed to be secret. Okay. I've dilly-dallied long enough. Oh, I was going to say for the newer viewers who maybe weren't here at the beginning of the stream, My monetization on YouTube has been reinstated. I know some people... I'm keeping the Patreon up that I started after the demonetization because I want to give people as many options as possible to support the show. Some people might not want to do bits and stuff for subscriptions on Twitch, and maybe they're more comfortable with Patreon or whatever. That's an option that will remain open to you. I'm going to keep this up, and we're going to put some more tiers on it and stuff. But I just wanted to point out, if you only did it because of the YouTube demonetization, and you want to pull your support, I understand. I just want to let you guys know. I don't want you to be like, oh, now I feel bad, you know. If you only did it because of the demonetization is over, and I wanted to give everyone a fair, you know, warning that that's what's going on. I appreciate all the support, though. Billy SC137 says, favorite strain of bud? If you don't partake, maybe the chat could weigh in? Oh, I don't know strains. I know indica, sativa, and I know these aren't strains. These are the kind of weed. That's as deep as I go. I don't know different strains. Indica, sativa, and hybrids. That's all I know. Captain Rachel, thank you for subscribing with 8 months. So close to a sub, baby. True. Yeah. Let me reiterate, too. I misspoke earlier. Tim Pool covered me after I was demonetized, not before. The conspiracy people covered me before the demonetization. People like A Call for an Uprising. People like that dog conspiracy guy. Just to be clear, Tim Pool didn't cover me until after. That's not his fault. Logarth with 20 bits. When I hit 9 months next month, please use a furry name generator. Also unrelated, but... Yeah, a Republican in Texas dies of COVID. I saw that. Guess you should wear a mask. Okay, let's take a look at what we're looking at today, because we got a lot. We have, Elliot Hulse. Elliot Hulse has a video talking about how women are like sour grapes. It's one of these videos where he's like, men's sexual value just gets better with age. Men age like fine wine, and women age like milk. So we're gonna talk about that bullshit. We haven't covered Girl Defined for quite a while, so I thought we'd do a Girl Defined video called Is Virginity the Ultimate Gift in Marriage? No. We'll cover that. We have this guy telling us to stop putting politics in his video games! So we'll see how that goes. Grunt Speak is, again, this is Terrence Pop, again, talking about Civil War. He's talking about Civil War again. I think he's gonna beat Tim Pool in priming for imaginary Civil War. This is another video that should maybe be forwarded to the FBI, but we'll see once we watch it. Lord of Patriarchy forgets COVID is a thing and just thinks teachers who don't want to go back to in-person teaching are lazy. So we'll take a look at that. Oh boy, and the big one. Oh no, this is all one. This person's marginal on if they're a chud or not. I don't know if they're right-wing or anything. They are an awful person, though. This streamer made fun of a cancer patient for having cancer. So we'll watch that. And then her dad kicked her out of the house. And we're gonna watch the dad's response. And it's gonna be bad. So we'll take a look at that. On stream, people are like, what? Yeah, on stream, she was talking to a cancer patient and called her a loser for having cancer. So that's gonna be probably a trigger warning if you're someone who, like, just can't deal with that, understandably. It's gonna be real bad, especially if you had, like, family members who've gone through cancer, or if that's maybe something you had to go through. Bad stuff. But we'll do that a little later, and I'll warn you guys when we're coming up to it. She's like a crazy narcissist, though. She's legitimately out there, and I think she needs some proper medication. I'm not using crazy as a pejorative, by the way, and I shouldn't even use that term. I think she's unwell, and I think she needs help. Because the level of, like, malignant narcissism that she is displaying is, like, bad. Like, non-functional in society bad. She was literally at a window at a hotel because she's not at home anymore because she got kicked out. And she's like, this is my castle, and look at all these poor people. Yeah, she has refused all the medication she's been... I watched the Repzion video you sent. It's very interesting. Thank you for sending that. That's actually why I'm covering this today. So everyone thank Baha for that. But yeah, it's pretty interesting. So let's take a look at what we're doing. Or not take a look. Let's get started, I guess. Well, we might as well start at the beginning. So today, let's take a look at Elliot Hulse talking about how he thinks women are just nasty after, like, age 23. Bear in mind, this guy's gotta be in his 40s, so he's pretty gross. I also wonder how his wife feels about this, because he's married, and I don't think she's 23. So let's find out.
Remember when you were a kid and you didn't want somebody to eat your food? My kids do this. My kids have grapes, and like one of them is like trying to steal the grapes from the other one. They'll go like this. They'll lick it. They'll lick all the grapes and be like, okay. Now they won't steal it anymore. She's getting licked on. Not only are her grapes getting sour, but somebody licking on them. Do you really want that? So now she's got sour licked up grapes. But guess what? Not you, my man.
It's generally not a good idea to compare human beings to food in this way. Metaphors are a thing, I understand that, but human beings aren't food to be licked and used.
You're ripening on the vine. You're getting stronger all the time.
Yo, Elliot!
Yo, Elliot, I still think about my ex from time to time, but I don't want that. I have blocked her everywhere and made sure she cannot contact me. For a time scale, we broke up 9 months ago, and she's dating someone new, and I'm happy for her. I wasn't the greatest boyfriend and didn't give her much time. How do I get her out of my head completely and forever?
Elliot's about to give some terrible advice here. Oh, hold on. He's got his YouTube play button in the background. I think I also... Hold on. There, I'll just hold it. I'll just hold it the whole time. So, this qualifies both of us to give advice, by the way. We're definitely not just losers on YouTube who you shouldn't ask advice of. So, this is as good as a PhD, okay? So, time is going to be a big factor in that. Keeping busy, working on your hobbies and interests, and not, spiraling down and focusing on a relationship that didn't work for whatever reason. And time heals all wounds. I know it's very fortune cookie and it's very cliche, but sometimes cliches are cliches for a reason. Sometimes. And I think this is one of those times. So, yeah. We're just gonna hold it.
So, bro, I'm gonna give you something to think about.
That's true. This is a silver. It is it might not even be a bachelor's. This might be a 2-year. This might be just an adult ed thing. On the table behind me? Sure. Probably better than holding
it. Some people might disagree with me about, but it's a mental strategy that I think will help you. It's a bit arrogant and egotistical, but I think it's helpful. And it all starts with this little tail.
You could attach the button and fix it to the hat. That's technically half Jake's and half mine. I don't think he would appreciate that very much.
Hear the story about sour grapes? Ever hear the story about sour grapes? The fox. There's a story about the fox, and he's looking up at some grapes up in a vine, and he wants those grapes, and he sees them, and they're succulent, and they make his mouth water. And he tries to jump up and he can't get it. He tries to climb up and he falls down. No matter what he does, he can't get it. And then he sees these birds come by, and these birds just land on the vine and they're just eating it. They're just eating it. They're enjoying themselves. It looks so good. And he's down there and he can't have it. So you know what he does? He scorns them. He's like, those grapes, they're probably sour anyway. And so that relates to you in this.
Oh, is that like an Aesop's fable? And is that like where the term sour grapes comes from? Didn't know that.
Way. When you think about your ex-girlfriend and she's with somebody else, and you say you happy for them, you happy for her, just remember that she's getting sour.
Oh, and here comes the unhealthy advice. It's perfectly healthy to be able to move past people who are no longer in your life in that way, in the romantic relationship way. That's healthy, right? We all have past relationships, and we get past them over time and recognize that those relationships ended, usually for very good reasons. If your way of moving past your past relationship is to denigrate the person who you were in a relationship with, and by the way, this is applicable to, like, non-abusive relationships. We're talking about, like, not abuse, things just didn't work out for some reason. If it's an abusive relationship, you have every reason to hate that person and denigrate them and whatever. I'm talking about a relationship where things were more or less okay, it was amicable, but things just didn't work out for whatever reason. Like, the adult thing to do is not to go, fuck that person, I hate them. No, the adult healthy way of handling that would be, hey, you know, things didn't work out, because not every relationship is going to work out, and that's okay. We had some good times together, we had some bad times together, didn't work out, I'm happy for them, and I hope they have a good life, and you move on from that. That's the healthy way to handle it. If you feel the need to get over someone by just thinking negatively about them, and even worse, talking negatively about them to other people, again, we're talking about not in an abusive relationship, that's not healthy, and that's not you getting over the relationship. It's you trying to switch the narrative in your head and trying to demonize someone just because you're not with them anymore, and maybe you feel lacking for not having access to that person in a romantic way. That's unhealthy. That's not good for you. That's gonna eat you up inside.
Her grapes are going sour. And that is with all women. Now, I don't know how old you are, but a woman...
Bear in mind, this man is married. This man has a wife who presumably listens to this.
Grapes are going sour. And that is with all women. Now, I don't know how old you are, but a woman's sexual market value peak is about age 23. So anything after age 23, 9 months, she's not the same fresh, sweet grape that she was 9 months ago.
She's not a grape. She's a human being, you ass. What are you talking about? In what way is a woman a grape? You not wanting to bang someone, and by the way, you're like 40, so the fact that you think the only people worth being attracted to are in their early 20s is disgusting. You are a creepy old man. Please cease.
And each year that goes by, her grapes are getting more and more sour.
Anyone who thinks women, or anyone for that matter, peaks at age 23 is just demonstrating to you that they don't see any value in someone outside of their sexual appeal. Because no one peaks at 23, at least no one who's not incredibly depressing. It tells me all you're looking at that person as is a receptacle for your genitalia and an incubator for your seed. Like, it has nothing to do with their aspirations or their competency level in whatever career that they're going for. It has nothing to do with learning and growing as a person, becoming wiser, becoming better at conversations and interacting with other people. It's entirely about wanting to stick it in someone who's way too young for you, and it is disgusting. This man is disgusting.
But guess what's great for you? Your grapes are getting sweeter. As a man, your sexual market value peak ain't till like 35. Some say even early 40s.
Isn't it convenient that that's like the age Elliot is? It's very convenient for his narrative that he's currently at his sexual peak, isn't it? How's his wife feel about this? Really? Is she just, like, crying herself to sleep every night because she feels inadequate because her husband is espousing this idea that she's, like, sour grapes? Ugh.
And the reason why is because a woman's sex appeal, and that's really what her value is for the most part in the marketplace.
Well, he said the quiet part out loud. Case dismissed? What am I gonna comment from here on? He said the thing. He said it out loud.
Is her looks, it's just what it is, start to fade. And the other thing is, the more men she's sleeping with, right? That's like somebody, you remember when you were a kid and you didn't want somebody to eat your food? My kids do this. My kids have grapes, and like one of them is like trying to steal the grapes from the other one. They'll go like this. They'll lick it. They'll lick all the grapes and be like, okay. Now they won't steal it anymore. She's getting licked on. She not only are her grapes getting sour, but somebody licking on them. Do you really want that? So now they're...
First of all, some people are into that. Second of all, people shower. People don't retain fluids on them from other people. What are you talking about? This reminds me of that scene from What We Do in the Shadows, where they're asking the vampire, why do vampires like virgins? And he says, honestly, think about it. If you had a sandwich, wouldn't you enjoy it more if you knew someone hadn't fucked it? This reminds me of that, but he's serious about it.
Now she's got sour licked up grapes. But guess what? Not you, my man. You're ripening on the vine. You're getting stronger all the time. You're making more money. You're becoming a king in your life. You're getting lean. You're getting fit. You're doing all the things that increase a man's value. They say a woman is valued by what she is. A man is valued by what he can do.
You say that. MGTOW people say that. Red pill people say that. People who I can't say because it's Twitch say that. That's not applicable to the real world.
And you're learning how to do more stuff. You're learning how to be more of a man. You're growing up. And there's a big difference between a 23-year-old man and a 33-year-old man. Even the way y'all look, even the way we look. I look at young, fresh Elliot, and I even look like a beta. There's this picture of me that's in my garage when I was playing college football. I was like 21 years old. And I look at it, I'm like, that little boy still got milk in his teeth. It looked like a little beta.
That's a very healthy way to think about your past self, and not at all self-destructive.
And I was. And if I knew what I knew then, what I know now, I would have been like, don't worry, young boy. You're going to grow up to be a great man. You're going to be a strong man. You're going to be a high-value man. And that's the way it is with all men. As long as you're working on yourself, your value is going to go up. It's not the same for women. They can work on themselves as much as they want that their value doesn't go up. A woman's value doesn't go up when she makes more money. A woman's value doesn't go up as she gets older. Her value goes down. And that's why it's best for women to make use of their value when they have it, which is when they're fresh and they're still sweet. That's when they should make babies. But they wait till they're old, sour, rotten grapes, and then they have petri dish babies, test tube babies.
Okay, first of all, people can have natural births way older than 23. And second of all, there's nothing wrong with in vitro fertilization. What is wrong with you? For some people, that's the only way they can have, like, children that are their own progeny. And that's something they want, and if they can afford that, that's wonderful. Are you really shitting on people who are having their, presumably if they're spending the thousands and thousands of dollars for in vitro fertilization, you're telling them that their babies don't count? Fuck you!
And
he is married. His wife must be miserable.
Even if they could still do that after their eggs, after they've had, like... And
yes, of course, not all women want children. Neither Baha nor I want children. Jake's girlfriend, Sarah, doesn't want children, nor does Jake, for that matter. There's plenty of people who don't want kids, and that's fine.
3 abortions, and they've been on birth control pills for the past 20 years, if the eggs are even available for that. So
how do you think ovulation works?
That's it, man. It's a mind.
Do you think birth control pills are destroying your eggs for some reason?
set, it may sound a little harsh. And I'm not saying, badmouth her or feel or like, denigrate her, but scorn her in your mind. She's sour grapes and you're just turning great. Hope that helps.
It didn't. That's really bad advice.
Done. Yo, it's your bro Elliot Hulse here, and I hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, you ought to know that it was a clip from one of my most recent sessions with my King Transformation students, where, among other things, we get together about 4 or 5 hours a week, and we speak on things related.
Jesus Christ, Elliot. Please cease. God. That's what frustrates me. Even though I'm remonetized now, I got demonetized and Elliot's out here with almost 1 million subscribers telling people women's only value as if he wants to bang them. Messed up. Anyway. Let's move on after we do some bits messages. Cupcake Chaos, thanks for the 50 bits. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits says it's virtually impossible to help narcissists, unfortunately. They don't think they have a problem and thus refuse to any attempt to help them. Yeah, my dad's like that. Billy SC135 with 25 bits says, who's worse, this guy or the Hodge twins? Both started with fitness bodybuilding. I haven't watched a lot of the Hodge twins, so I can't say. KR Goss, thank you for gifting a sub. On Onukio, thank you for subscribing with Prime. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits. Peaking at 23 is a biblical time thing. Yeah. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits. Elliot isn't sour. He's basically vinegar at this point. Verbutin with 20 bits says, okay, but MILFs for the win. Asosh Garbage, thank you for... Ooh, wow. Okay, I'll get to those in a sec. Asosh Garbage, thank you for resubscribing. Antipodian Squid, thank you for the 100 bits, says he's just sad that no one liked him when he was 23. That XY Girl with 50 bits, Elliot realizes that grapes are a testes ball metaphor, right? I mean, it would depend on the context. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits says, this grape thing disgusts me so much, but the education system teaches you to think this way. In school, I was given that if you have sex with someone, you're also having sex with everyone else they've had sex with. It's so awful. That's usually part of, what's the word? Abstinence-only education. Wind Chanter, thank you for resubscribing with 6 months. Says, I love you, Hannah, in chat. Although I guess comprehensive sex education sometimes does that in terms of trying to scaremonger people about STIs. But there are probably better ways to do that aren't denigrating and backward. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, YouTube is garbage. Batty Bell, thank you for gifting 10 subs to the community. That XY Girl with 100 bits says, Snipe. Mike Max 321 with 20 bits says, so by his logic, he must hate his old female family members and friends. He doesn't have female friends. Okay. Ooh, hiccupy, I'm sorry. Excuse me. Well, it's been a while since we've done Girl Defined, so maybe we should do a Girl Defined video. Girl Defined is a ministry. I don't know why I air quoted. They are technically a ministry, legally and everything. I would imagine they have like a 501c3 or whatever. And it's these two conservative women. They're trad con wives. They're trad wives. Their focus is, of course, on like living biblically as a trad wife woman and trying to teach girls to not succumb to the evils of the world, like, I don't know, having fun or I don't know, anything including kissing. So we'll take a look at this. This video is entitled, Is Virginity the Ultimate Gift in Marriage? Let's take a look.
Placed sex, not just randomly for anyone to enjoy.
Yeah, this was sex being placed randomly.
Placed randomly. You don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I think
don't throw Davy Jr. out with the bathwater, please.
God intentionally in the garden created a man and a woman and placed sexual intimacy within marriage. What's up, Sisterhood? It's Bethany and
hey guys, Kristen.
And we are here for another video. We are so excited to be here with you, and I cannot wait for this topic. This is something, like, whenever we do Q&As and stuff, we always get, like, so is virginity, like, the ultimate in marriage? Like, is saving sex for marriage even worth it? Like, what if I have had sex before marriage? Like, that that topic is, like, such a hot button issue, and so we're going there.
Yeah.
We are going there today.
We're going there.
Before this starts, let me just kind of lay out my opinion on this. First of all, let me be clear. I'm for what anyone wants to do with their own body consensually, right? If you would like to save yourself for marriage, whatever that means, if you'd like to not have sexual relations until you're married, that's your right to do so. That's fine. That's your business. I'm not telling you you're wrong for doing so, but here's my opinion. It seems to me, especially people maybe who haven't partaken in sex, might not understand that sexual intimacy is, well, maybe not, and this is going to depend from person to person, right? It's a big part of relationships for a lot of people. How big it is in the relationship is going to depend upon, you know, how high the libido is of different people in the relationship, and sort of what you both get out of it. But that's something that it helps to figure out prior to getting married, because, how do I put this? If one person's libido is completely out of whack with the other person's, that's going to cause some sort of friction in the marriage. Not necessarily explosive friction, but it's a thing to consider. Also, just sexual compatibility in general. You know, I don't know. I don't know. Again, you don't have to. Someone says in the chat, sex isn't love, and I agree it's not, but intimacy is a part of marriage. It's a part of relationships, and sexual intimacy for people who, like, aren't ace, is important, typically. And I don't know. Going into a marriage blind on that, I think, is a recipe for disaster. But again, if it's something you want to do, that's fine. What I think is unhealthy is if you're not doing it for yourself and not doing it because you'd just rather do that, but because you think, like, an old book told you to do it, or, like, your pastor told you to do it, or whatever. I don't think that's healthy, right? You should do things for material reasons. You should do things for a reasoned out reason. Even if the reason is you just feel like it, that's fine. But, like, you shouldn't only do things just because someone else told you to do or not do those things. You need to make those determinations for yourself. But whatever.
Stick with us, and if you love this video or any past videos and you appreciate this channel and you want to see a channel like this stay on YouTube and continue on, come join us over on patreon.com/girldefined. That is our support. It's a support group, really. It's a community of women who have said we want to
You didn't miss Lord of Patriarchy. No, we didn't do him yet.
keep this channel going. We love it so much. Okay,
I'm sorry.
My echo chamber.
Because I had, like, my own comedy thing going on in my own brain that only I thought was funny.
Okay, so our way of saying thank you, not only will we give you free monthly products, but we do quarterly Zoom calls, we have fun Q&As within Patreon. It's like its own channel, a 7-day devotion. We've never, and so it's free. I'm
just gonna skip past their promotion.
All around and jump right in. So purity culture, like, it's a term that's been thrown all around, and I think that a lot of this idea of, like, is virginity the best gift I could give for it in marriage? Is virginity, like, the most important thing? Like, I think a lot
like
of that,
the crowning achievement of the Christian.
It's like the Olympic gold medal of being the Christian,
right?
Or a higher on earth.
That's how it's kind of framed.
Yes. So I think that a lot of that terminology and idea and thinking actually came out of purity culture, which is kind of like the common term a lot of people use, which is just, I guess, people talk about it in the way, like, I guess, in some ways, like, wrong thinking that Christians have about purity. Anyways, but listen to our...
Because it typically is. Because, like, the girl-defined people, I'm pretty sure, are, like purity culture to the extent that they don't even want you to, like, kiss before marriage. That's not healthy. That's not healthy at all. It's not gonna make it better when you're married to not ever have intimacy, even at the level of, like, kissing when you're dating. It's just not. That's not good.
For our podcast, we did a whole episode about this just this past Monday, and you actually read a bunch of responses people gave to your question on Instagram of what is purity culture, and we read through a bunch of those. We all have kind of a different perspective on what it is.
I'm pretty sure, like, one of these girls, probably both of them, I don't know though, like kissed for the first time at their wedding. Hold on. Yep.
I wanna marry you.
Well,
Not sure where the
David,
kiss is in
same
this.
here. Obviously, your love
Comments
is
are
new,
turned off, yeah.
exciting. And whether you believe this or not, there may be days ahead where you're going to look at each other and wonder, love is not arrogant. He said, let's exchange papers. And as you do those things, you're home.
Vows. Rings.
Christ that were given to us as God left his throne in heaven to come to earth to walk among us, to ultimately go to the cross where he spread his arms wide and gave his life. In the book of Hebrews, we're told that without this revelation that we have in this Christ.
Did I already miss it? It's not that big of a deal. I just find it funny. Didn't one of the husbands go through gay conversion therapy? That was a rumor. That was never substantiated to my knowledge.
There are going to be times of testing and trial in your marriage. Or whether you need it, and you're dealing with it.
Okay, I'm giving up on that. But whatever. Whatever. Like I said, you can do what you want. I just think it's unhealthy to put so much cosmic significance on something as simple as kissing.
You're going to really enjoy that podcast. Go listen to it after this. But
really quick to recap those. So like probably like 60s, 70s, 80s, really the generation that our parents grew up in, think there was this whole movement of like free love, do whatever you want with your body. There is no like God in a sense. You can do whatever you want, have sex with whoever you want, just like live
Free
and
love.
let live, just be free. And kind of as a response to that, a lot of people in our parents' generations, or maybe for you as your grandparents because we're older, they kind of responded to that and in some ways swung to the extreme where they said, hey, no, like that's not what God calls us to. God does have a standard and we want to honor him and we want to raise the next generation to uphold God's word and to value sex and value intimacy. And so in some ways there was like an extreme swing where it was basically that, like, okay.
You guys don't think you should kiss before marriage. What do you think is an extreme? Are you not allowed? Is this a Mike Pence situation? Are you like, all right, you shouldn't kiss, but you could be in the same room as a woman.
Sex is the most important thing about a Christian, and like for you as a girl, like being a virgin and, you know, giving your husband your virginity on your honeymoon is like the most important thing you can do. And if you have sex before marriage or you stumble in any way before that, like you are now like a second-class Christian.
Stumbled right onto that dick.
And there just wasn't like a lot more help and answers kind of in the broad Christian spectrum. And so a lot of...
This is a highbrow stream, folks, okay? This is the content you come here for.
Of Christian girls grew up feeling very confused, feeling very unsure of like, how should I view this? And it just felt like there was kind of like a dead end. Like, where do I go for answers? There aren't a lot of people talking about it. And so in the end, you have questions like this. Is virginity the best gift I can give to my husband? Which just shows how we as Christians are not doing a good job talking about God's design for sex, because really that shouldn't even be a question.
Yeah, and so in this conversation...
I want to talk about God's design for sex. Girl defined. If God didn't want people to play with butts, if people didn't want, then why a male at birth people is there a G-spot up the ass? Why, God? Why did God do this if he didn't want things to go up there? Checkmate.
We don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like, I think
Don't throw Davy Jr. out with the bathwater, please.
Davy out with the bathwater. Like, okay, there was a swinging culture to embrace, you know, sex without boundaries. And then Christian culture stepped in and said, no, God does have good boundaries. There's a reason. Swung to the other side and emphasized purity so much, but kind of missed some of the gospel heart, like the redemption, the forgiveness, like the grace, the mercy, like needing God's help to live, you know, the life that he calls us to as Christians from the inside out. It's like we kind of missed some of that. And so then there were Christians who responded and who were genuinely hurt by this wrong narrative. You know, a message about purity, sexuality that isn't biblical, that's not a biblical message of purity.
And
like,
it's not helpful, it's actually hurtful.
Yeah, it's not helpful, it's hurtful because it's not in alignment with God's word. And so
if you're gonna be a purity culture warrior, it has to be a purity culture warrior for God, okay? None of this secular prudism. You gotta be a prude for Jesus.
in this conversation, I mean, this is brief, really, go listen to the podcast. We dig into this much more, but we need to take a step back and say, okay, like, I'm not just going to throw everything out because of some wrong narrative surrounding the topic of purity and sex. I need to get back to God's word and really step back and go, what does God actually say about this? Like, what does he say about virginity? Which is almost like a word you don't really say that often, but really, like, what does he say about sex? What does he say about virginity? What does he say about redemption and grace? And, like, where does all of this fit into the Christian life? And so when we look in scripture, just in a nutshell, we do see that God has a high and holy view of sexuality, that he created us as men and women, as sexual beings, and he placed sex not just randomly for anyone to enjoy at our own leisure, recreationally.
This was sex being placed randomly.
He kind of did. He put two people in a garden and was like, yeah, you're naked. Do whatever. Wink, wink.
God intentionally in the garden created a man and a woman and placed sexual intimacy within marriage. So he...
What? Adam and Eve weren't married? What are you talking about? He just made them and was like, all right, go populate the earth. At no point in the Bible are Adam and Eve married. They're just put there. What are you talking about?
Covenant of marriage.
The institution of marriage in the garden and then place sex within it. Within this covenant, so it's this lifelong union. This was God's intention between a man and a woman to enjoy sexual intimacy with one another as an expression of the covenant relationship that they were in exclusively with one another. And it was supposed to be a beautiful celebration of their marriage and their love, right? But then sin entered the world and that became distorted, and you know that has affected our lives personally and each one of us in so many ways.
For sure.
But when we step back and we look at the New Testament, we see, okay, even despite how sin has distorted our view of sexuality and the way that we embrace it or that others, embrace it in their lives and the way it affects us, we see that God created marriage not just so that we could have this union on earth, but as a picture on this earth, as a reflection of a greater picture.
Maybe that was part of the punishment once they ate the tree, the fruit of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Because, in the Bible, once Adam and Eve do that, God's like, I curse you with pain and childbirth, and there will be weeds that will make farming difficult for you. And maybe they just edited out the line in the Bible where they're like, Adam, and the male G-spot that's on your penis? Now I'm going to put it in your ass. And some monk somewhere was transcribing that in, like, the 3rd century. And he was like, I think I'm going to take that out.
Which is Christ and the church. And we see that in Ephesians, right? That God created marriage to be a picture of Christ and his love and pursuit of the church. The church is the bride, Christ is the groom, and it's this amazing picture, and it points to how much God loves us, this intimate...
Lilith is a feminist icon. That's a funny story. For those who don't know, the Bible, of course, is a conglomeration of all sorts of scripture from tons of different sources. This is why you have different books of the Bible. It's because they were different, disparate sources that got put together. They were put together at the Council of Nicaea. Fun fact, St. Nicholas, the inspiration for Santa Claus, one of the inspirations for Santa Claus, was at the council. And he got in a fist fight. Anyway, they of course, that means that there are scriptures that weren't put in the Bible, but were considered canon at the time before the church got together and decided, this is canon, this is non-canon. And one of the apocryphal non-canon materials is the story of Lilith. Lilith is prior, again, to like the Council of Nicaea, according to some scripture, was the first woman that was created before Eve. She was created at the same time as Adam, and she was more or less equal to him. She wanted to be on top during the sexy times, and God was like, nope, that's wicked, and cast Lilith out of the Garden of Eden for wanting to be a top. And then in folklore, she became basically a succubus that would come and jerk you off in the middle of the night, and that was some people's explanation for nocturnal emissions, was the first woman, Lilith, now a demon, comes in the middle of the night, and then you do. So, Christian mythology's fun.
love that he has, a faithful covenant-keeping love that he has with his people, and that's what marriage was supposed to paint. So, does God care about it? Yes, he cares about it.
Oh, and smothers babies. She does nocturnal emissions and smothers babies. So if, like, a baby dies in the middle of the night, they're like, oh, that's Lilith. You think she's like, oh, what am I gonna do tonight? Am I gonna go jack off some teenager, or am I gonna go kill a baby? Why not both? Treat yourself.
About it so much, and he wants us to care about it, but he wants us to have a right, balanced perspective of it.
Well, and if you're thinking,
I'll get to bits at the end of the video. I know they're there.
like, so where does he talk about this in the Bible? Like, or are you just making this up? You know, I do want to read a few verses just because I think it's important for us to go back to God's word, you know, instead of just hearing our voices talk about this.
Right.
We should always base our thoughts and beliefs on scripture and try to understand.
Which book is Lilith in? She was in scripture prior to it being in the Bible. So it's not in the Bible anywhere. At least I don't think. Is Lilith referenced in the Bible? That's a good question. Lilith in the Bible. I don't know if she is or if it was purely apocryphal. Let's see. Yeah, it's not in the Bible. I think it's just in ancient Jewish folklore. She makes a solitary appearance in the Bible as a wilderness demon shunned by the prophet Isaiah. So there we go. And then in the Middle Ages, she appears in Jewish sources as the dreadful first wife of Adam. So that was a story that, you know, was considered canon for a long time until it was decanonized by the church.
Them in a right way. So
as it turns out, the church just arbitrarily gets to decide what's true and not in scripture. Funny how that works.
First we have Psalm 51:10, which says, "Create in me a pure heart, O God, and renew a steadfast spirit within me," which truly is a psalm of David, who wrote after his sin with Bathsheba, and he is having a repentant heart after his sexual sin and saying, God, create in me a pure heart and renew a steadfast spirit within me. And so that's something that we all need, you know, like in whatever, you know, area that we have sinned sexually, because we are all impure before God. We need his righteousness. We can make that our cry as well. And it's a cry of saying, God, we need your help. Change us. Make us pure as you are pure in all areas from the heart out.
This is just the Christian version of bonk horny jail. God, please, am horny on main. Bonk me, please, daddy. And then God goes, okay. Bonk, horny jail. Problem solved.
We also have Hebrews 13:4, which says, let marriage be held in honor among all, and let the marriage bed be undefiled. So it's showing you that God does have a good plan for sex, and that plan is within the covenant of marriage, because it is very much a beautiful, intimate act that was created to be celebrated.
Was Bathsheba the one that David banged after he saw her bathing on the roof? Something, he needed proof, blah, 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 hallelujah. Yeah, thought so. The Bible's weird. King David saw a lady bathing on her roof, and then he was like, guards, bring me that naked woman that I'm spying on, and then slept with her. I would guess against her will, because she was married, and he was the king, so he's probably like, prima nocta, you know. And she was like, oh, I guess I have to. And then he had her husband killed? This is David. King David? As in Star of David? As in one of the patriarchs of Israel? Banged a lady, probably non-consensually, and then, at minimum, coercively, and then killed her husband. What a good guy. Baja Blast says, oh, you cast me out, Sky Daddy. I'm the top, and there's no stopping me. In my head now, Baja is Lilith whenever I picture that story, but with maybe some sweet demon wings and little tiny horns. Hot.
Within marriage.
Yeah, and God's saying, honor this. Like, he's
Baja's my girlfriend, by the way. I'm not sexualizing some rando. I wouldn't do that.
saying, I honor this. I'm calling you as my people to honor this too.
Yeah. We also have 1 Peter 1:16, which says, since it is written, you shall be holy, for I am holy. So just that calling, that holiness, which means like set apart, that we as Christians are reminded that
Baja, I'm going to buy
we're
you some
not
little horns,
just
okay?
supposed to live and do whatever feels right.
Oh, tail. You got to do tail.
whatever feels good, live however we want. We are called to be holy as God is holy, to be set apart, to follow his word, to seek his wisdom so that we can know how he wants us to live. And I would encourage you to go look up those verses on your own and read them and read the context around them and really ask yourself, like, okay, what do these mean, and how can I better understand these? And in our book, Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart, we do dig into a lot of these passages much deeper. So if this is a topic where you really want to do a deep dive, I strongly encourage you to grab a copy of Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart, because that will give you a lot more than this one short video.
Yeah, so we see in those verses, like, quickly that God, like, first the picture I was talking about, zooming out and seeing the bigger picture. Like, why do we have sex? What's the point of all this? Like, as Christians, we have...
Feels good. Intimacy. Fun. Love. There are a lot of reasons.
Have to keep that bigger picture in mind, and then we zoom in and we see the specific instruction, and we see God's heart, and it's a heart of love. And that's the thing, like, so often purity culture, the messages are very negative and they're not well rounded. It's just like, do this, don't do that. Virginity is like the crowning achievement of a Christian. Follow these rules and you'll be righteous. Like, God, like, his picture for and his heart for sex is so much bigger than that and so much more beautiful than that. And it's like we've stripped it away of all that's beautiful and good and just given such like a bare bones description that it's not inspiring. And I can see why a lot of people were like, ooh, like, I don't want anything to do with that. Like, God's picture is so much more beautiful. So when we understand...
I don't think they understand a secular view of sex at all. Like, someone like me, who's about as secular as you can get, like, I think everyone should be able to do what they want consensually and safely with their partners or with themselves or whatever. That's fine. But that doesn't mean I treat sex trivially, right? Like, it's still something you should, like... How do I put this? It's completely fine to have sex completely just for fun and divorced from any sort of, you know, deeper meaning if that's what you want. But that doesn't mean the activity isn't pretty fundamental to the human experience and there isn't some sort of profundity in it, right? It's still, like, an amazing, beautiful thing, even if you're just hooking up with some rando. Like, it's a fun human connection with another person, even if you are just doing it for that reason. And that's not even getting into, like, the confines of a relationship where you're really sharing a deeper intimacy with the person that you're with, or people you're with, if you're into that. Like, that's beautiful and it is profound, but it doesn't have to be a religious thing for it to be important, for it to matter. These things can exist completely divorced from a religious context, and in fact, I think they work a lot better divorced from that religious context, but whatever.
Understand the big picture, and we see his calling for us as Christians to live for his glory, walk in holiness, walk in a way that honors him and honors others from the inside out. We see this high and holy calling. It's a beautiful thing, but like I said earlier, sin has impacted all of our lives. Like, sex has been distorted in our own hearts and our desires and the desires of others, the ways that we have sinned and now face consequences of our sexual sin, the ways other people...
Hold on, someone linked something. That is actually very cool for, like, a cosplay thing. It's a demon tail that moves. Is there a video? Let me see this video. Excuse me. Look at that. That's great. It's expensive, but if you're cosplaying or whatever, that's cool. Fun.
People have sinned against us, right? And there's fallout from that. I mean, sexual abuse, like, it is so rampant, and that is such a distortion of God's picture and his...
Wait, why did this veer into abuse? We were talking about consensual relationships, consensual interactions, let's call it. Of course everyone agrees that, like, sexual assault is evil and awful and just a terrible thing. What does that have to do with consensual sex between adults?
Intention for sexual intimacy. That is not at all what God designed it to be. In fact, there's an article we're going to link below if you've been a victim of sexual abuse, which is an awful, evil way for anyone to act out sexually, not what God calls any of us to. There's an amazing article that we actually included in our book, Sex, Purity, and the Longings of a Girl's Heart, by an amazing woman who experienced sexual abuse herself, and it's called Trusting God to Heal the Scars of Sexual Abuse. And it's just an amazing testimony of how God has redeemed her, how he has brought her life from the pit, and that sense of, like, wow, I have been brought so low by someone else's sin, but God has raised me up, redeemed me, and given me a new like new life in him. And it's just so beautiful how he has healed her scars. And so please click that link below and check it out.
Yeah, I take exception with the word redeemed. Like, I don't really want to talk about that. Okay. The word redeemed implies that she did something wrong, and it just comes off as incredibly victim-blamey. Not cool. Not cool. I really hope that's just like an out-of-context bad word choice, and not that the actual text of the book implies that, you know, some sort of blame is being placed on her for being assaulted, which is, of course, not her fault in any way, shape, or form.
Out if you find yourself in that place, because God cares deeply about this.
Amen. That's a really, really good point. So the big question, is virginity the ultimate gift in marriage? And the big resounding answer is no, it's absolutely not the ultimate gift in marriage. But
Well, at least they got that answer right. They're still going to say don't do it, but...
does that mean that God doesn't have a high and holy view of it? No, God has a high and holy view of marriage. And
Okay, God has a high and holy view of a lot of things that are kind of trivial, like, I don't know, eating shellfish, eating pork, you know, whatever.
the sexual intimacy that
Honestly, the best thing I think you could do if you want to be a heathen is probably eating pork, shellfish, while having premarital sex, while wearing mixed fibers, and also it would help if it's sodomy. So...
happens in marriage. Like, absolutely, God has so much to say about that. And in Song of Solomon, you see the beauty of that lived out, and the bride and the groom.
Oh yeah, all at the same time. Yeah.
Beautiful
Don't kink shame.
creation of intimacy that God created, which is amazing. And like you already said, do we experience consequences from our own choices that we have made? Of course we do. But is there forgiveness and redemption and God offering us grace and like renewal in this area? Absolutely. And that's where there is so much hope, because there aren't pure people and impure people. We are all impure and all need the incredible saving grace of God in our lives and in this area specifically. And so that's where all the hope is found, that it's, you know, his redemption in this area for all of us.
And so what does God want for us? I think at the end of the day, the heart that he wants from each one of us isn't, did you show up at your altar as a virgin? And, you know, that is what it means to be a Christian. Like, ultimately, like, that is your stamp of righteousness. Like, no, we're all impure, like you said, in need of Christ's righteousness to cover us. But what does God want from us? Yes, he calls us to honor his word, to honor his ways, but we sin. We mess up, right? Some of us, we make mistakes. We look back and go, wow, I can't change that. What do I do from here? And God says, come to me with a repentant, humble heart and strive to walk in a way that honors me. Like, and look to me for your strength to do that. That's what he's calling us to. I think an amazing example is David in the Bible, who we all, like you mentioned earlier, like the sin with Bathsheba, sexual sin, but God still called him a man after his own heart. Now we think, how could a man who murdered someone, committed adultery, like did all these things, and God still says that about him?
Again, probably also assault, based on the context of that story.
It was because after the sin in Psalm 51, you see this picture of humble repentance, crying out to the Lord, saying, God, I need you, help me.
So you can commit murder, and you can assault someone sexually, and then all you gotta do afterward is be like, God, I'm sorry. No, not cool.
To walk in a way that honors you, and that's the heart that God wants for each one of us. And honestly, I can't think of a better thing on your wedding day to give your husband than a heart like that, a heart for the Lord. I think that's what God wants for each one of us.
I 100% agree. A heart that says, God, I want to live for you, I want to glorify you, because that is a heart that is humble, that is other-centered, that is filled with a 1 Corinthians 13 kind of love, and that lets Christ's strength live through you and has, you know, I mean, in marriage, patience, kindness, gentleness, long-suffering, forgiveness, like those are the core character qualities that are going to carry you through and give you a thriving marriage and going to make intimacy amazing. It's those qualities that really make intimacy so incredible when you have that selfless heart.
And through that heart of selflessness, that will, for each one of us, with that heart, then I think we have the right lens to say, what is God's call for sexuality? And then we pursue our sexual, like what we think in our hearts, our minds, like how we act, how we treat other people. We'll live in a way that's selfless, that is looking out for the good of the other and saying, God, help me to honor this person sexually, help me to honor you in my singleness, in my relationships, in my engagement, and in my marriage. And
ooh, honor me.
And that is the heart that God wants from us, that pursuit of purity in the right context, right? from the heart, Christ working in us, that is the heart that God wants for each one of us. And he can help us cultivate that today, right now.
Absolutely.
We would love to continue this conversation with you. We know we were storming through this fast and furious. Come on over to Instagram, at Girl Defined. Come hang out with us, and we want to hear from you. Comment below. Let us know your thoughts on this. Let's continue dialoguing if you have questions. We know this can be a very sensitive topic. We want to hear from you. We want to continue this conversation. We will see you guys over there. We didn't have a way to...
So that's Girl Defined. Still doing the purity culture thing, but, you know. Gotta grift. Gotta grift fast. I got the Sonic X theme song stuck in my head. God damn it. Okay, let's do bit messages and then we'll do Lord of Patriarchy. Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster. Sonic. He's on the run. Sonic. Da, da, da. Anyway. That XY girl became the stream boss, Mike Max, with 20 bits, so by his logic, he... Oh, I already read that one, sorry. Verboten with 20 bits. Isn't one of them married to a guy... Oh, already read that one, too. Whoopsie. Here we go. That XY girl, thank you for resubscribing with 4 months in a row. Says... My mom tried to instill the importance of saving virginity intimacy in me, and by the time I was a young teenager, I rather pointedly asked, so you saved yourself for marriage to dad, right? She had not. Gotta love hypocrisy, huh? Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, oh god, Girl Defined is so vapid and insufferable, so here, I'm off to commit toaster bath. Mike Max 321 with 20 bits says these types of Christians are very annoying. They think they're always right and everything is satanic, like the people that think MCU is satanic. Antipodian Squid with 100 bits says, let's not forget that Paul and Morgan are no front hug before marriage people. Oh god, are they? Like the Duggars? Gross. Profane Priestess. If God no want anal, why G-spot? If God no like queer people, why so cute? Sir Dipping Sauce 2016, thank you for subscribing. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Honey Pot 2 is out, children. Go get double date. I don't know what any of that means. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, if anyone's curious about what the Bible says about virginity, not that it matters, read Deuteronomy 22:13 through 21. Deuteronomy 22:13 through 21. Deuteronomy. What was that, 13? No, 22, sorry. 13 through 21. If a man takes a wife and after sleeping with her dislikes her... I've read this before, yeah. If a man takes a wife and after sleeping with her dislikes her and slanders her and gives her a bad name, saying, I married this woman, but when I approached her, I did not find proof of her virginity. This goes back to when people thought that hymen being intact was like a foolproof method of thinking, you know, that they're virgins, which is a myth. Then the young woman's father and mother shall bring to the town elders at the gate proof that she was a virgin. Her father will say to the elders, I gave my daughter in marriage to this man, but he dislikes her. Now he has slandered her and said, I did not find your daughter to be a virgin, but here is the proof of my daughter's virginity. Then her parents shall display the cloth before the elders of the town. The cloth being, how do I put this? The bed sheets that they consummated the marriage on that are supposed to have blood on them because of, you know. And the elders shall take the man and punish him. They shall fine him 100 shekels of silver and give them to the young woman's father, because this man has given an Israelite virgin a bad name. She shall continue to be his wife. He must not divorce her as long as he lives. Gross. Mike Max 321 with 20 bits. If Adam and Eve were the only humans around and they had kids, who did their kids have kids with? Think about it. Yeah, they slept with each other. Sylvnal, thank you for resubscribing. I mean, the real answer is they didn't exist, but in the canon of the Bible, they would have had to sleep with each other. 2 months says cute curls. Thank you. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, Hannah and Jake did a Lilith TBR video on YouTube. It's old as hell. Yeah, so am I. Ghetto Kanye with 20 bits says, I just got on stream and Hannah is saying, bonk me, daddy. What's happening? Oh, you know, normal stream stuff. Wing the Ultimate Nug with 20 bits. Damn, Hannah, you almost got 400 viewers. Nice. Oh, I do. Cool. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Bardlock Moses with 100 bits says, don't boil a goat in its mother's milk. That's true. That is a biblical thing. You're not allowed to boil a goat in its mother's milk. Which I guess was a problem that was bad enough that they had to write it down. Wing the Ultimate Nug, thank you for resubscribing. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits says, if redemption means I become as insipid and proselytizing as these two, then count me out. Noid Dandroid, thank you for following. Comrade Big Dill with 100 bits says, F these grifters. I'm not going to read the exact wording, but that's you know, around what you said. Andrew Batella with 20 bits, is God's kink shaming others? Yeah, I would think so. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Ah, yes, nothing screams love like obeying a powerful being that will set you on fire if you so much as pick up a stick on the wrong day of the week. Oh wait, did I say love? No, what I mean to say is the textbook definition of an abusive relationship. Rothgar Bloodfire, thank you for following. Is that a D&D character name? Sounds like it. It's pretty sweet. Daddy Sume with a link that I think... Did we look at that? I don't remember. Levelhead with 40 bits. I was raised in this kind of BS, and sexuality was intrinsically connected with shame, and it's very hard to disconnect the two in adulthood, even though I am now an atheist. Yeah, that kind of stuff can be hard to divorce yourself from. I wish you the best in continuing to grow, though, as you get further away from your days of religion. Silk Monkey, thank you for resubscribing with 2 months. So happy YouTube recommended me to you. I assume you meant the opposite. Yeah, recommended that I watch you. Yeah, that makes sense. And Smoke Break, thank you for following. Sweet. We're all caught up. Good job, everyone. We read things. Cleanse? I think we need a cleanse real quick. What would be a good cleanse? Oh, I know what we could do. Sausage. Let's sausage. Whoops, I typoed that real bad. Can you repost your link, Daddy Sume? I'll save yours for a little bit later.
Every other food YouTuber is making something for the Super Bowl, and I'm making garlic sausage. YouTube comment suggestions. You know, I forgot about how much prep work this garlic needs. We're halfway done peeling the garlic. I just think that, you know, with all this effort, how much this garlic sausage is going to be worth it. Let's grind that garlic!
Garlic is maybe the best thing ever. I'm just going to put that out there. If you put garlic in anything, I'll probably like it.
It just occurred to me how weird it is to have Mark Ruffalo as a rating system. Let's sausage! Here we go!
Wow, it didn't burst.
0 out of 5!
Bop, 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 bop.
Every other...
Short one, but sweet. What was this one? We've watched this before. You sent this before as a thing. Yeah, we saw this. It's still amazing. Sure.
Pay attention, it's essential. This ain't no front hug zone. You ain't that fly, you ain't my drone. Stop and listen. No front hugs and no kissing. I ain't that scared to call your mom.
No, the sausage guy isn't Creationist Cat. Creationist Cat's Vadim. I know Vadim. He's not Sausage Guy. Sorry, everyone. I'm just sleepy today. I slept like garbage. Okay. This is a drag queen looking up reacting to a girl defined makeup video. We can maybe watch that later. I don't know. I'll put it in my cleanse folder either way, but it's a little long. Okay, we haven't covered Lord of Patriarchy in a while, so I thought we'd take a look and see what he was up to, and it appears that he forgot that COVID is a thing, because Chicago teachers are refusing to go and do in-person teaching, for good reasons, being that they don't want to get themselves and students killed when they can just do class online. But of course, Dave here thinks that they're just lazy union people who don't want to work. So let's take a look.
So in a surprise to no one, the Chicago Teachers Union is still not going to send teachers back into the classroom.
He still never fixed his clocks. Dave, you beautiful, beautiful man. Fix your clocks.
Because of COVID.
Hold on. One sec. Okay, we're up to almost 500,000 deaths, and how did you describe that, Dave? One sec.
Going to send teachers back into the classroom because of COVID.
Because of COVID! Yeah, 500,000 people are almost dead, Dave. Millions more are going to be permanently damaged from it in their lungs and brains. You stupid, stupid man.
Proving the teachers are the laziest, greediest motherfuckers on this planet.
Dave, they're fine with doing, like, teaching online, which is still a job. You work online, Dave. Teachers are lazy. They should all do streaming online like Dave and get drunk every day. That's the way to go if you want to be a real achiever, okay? I think we all know this. That's why both Dave and I are multimillionaires.
Anyway, it was announced another delay in resumption of in-person classes.
In-person classes being the opportune phrase here. They can still do online classes, which are safe, and they can still teach. It's fine.
Because, yeah, teachers would just rather teach from their living room in their pajamas rather than actually having to get dressed and go to a school.
Dave. 500,000 people are dead. Dave. You sit in pajamas all day. And by the way, I'm not being a hypocrite here. So do I. The audacity to be a person who sits around all day in pajamas, being mad that teachers want to teach from home to protect themselves and their students from a pandemic is unbelievable. It's unbelievable, and I have such a low opinion of Dave as it already stands, but he keeps surpassing my ability to be disappointed in him, and it's kind of amazing. I think if we could tap into this boundless ability for Dave to disappoint me, we could solve the energy crisis permanently.
Again, teachers, most overpaid, laziest...
Teachers are overpaid? Dave! Cut to clip of Luke Skywalker. Funny, almost everything you just said is wrong. What are you talking about? Overpaid? Dave, how much do you think teachers make?
Motherfuckers on the planet. This is on top of a job they already work less than half the year.
Hey, did you guys know that during the summer, teachers don't, go and take more classes to keep their accreditations up to date and to learn new teaching methods? They don't work on lesson plans. They don't go and do other jobs because they're underpaid. They just sit around for 3 months. Dave definitely knows what he's talking about and isn't a complete idiot, okay?
There's no deal reached between CPS and the Chicago's teachers union. Teachers shouldn't have a union. They're public employees. We'll extend the cooling off period for the final time through the end of the day on Thursday to allow for further negotiations tonight. Remote learning will continue Thursday, with Friday a pre-planned non-attendance day. What's special about Friday? Well, when they have school Friday, whatever, fuck it. I don't know. I don't care.
Schools just sometimes, and I don't know when was this? The 5th? So I don't know if it was that Friday or whatever. Either way, doesn't matter. Schools sometimes have just scheduled days off. Like once a month my schools would do that, or once every couple months. They did like staff meetings and other stuff, I think.
One remaining area of significant disagreement is over what accommodations to offer educators who live with people with an elevated COVID-19 risk. Who are these educators?
Teachers in Chicago. The article said that.
Like, what? The elderly teacher that should have retired 5 years ago?
No, probably someone who, it said, his reading apparently, maybe his teacher was underpaid, because Dave has no reading comprehension. They said because of teachers who live with people who are at high risk. So like a teacher who maybe has their elderly parents live with them, because teachers are underpaid and they can't afford to get their parents into a nursing home or whatever. Or if they live with someone who has immunocompromisation for some reason. Maybe some of them have asthma. Like, the people who are at risk for COVID, in terms of, like, death, aren't just old people, Dave. And even if they were, you understand that death isn't necessarily the only issue with COVID. People are experiencing long-term side effects from their bout with COVID. Breathing issues, mental cognition issues, which is redundant, I recognize that. Cognition issues. One guy had his teeth falling out. Like, neurological damage is something that we're seeing out of some of these COVID patients that recover. And we haven't even been, a year out of this yet. So who knows what's going to happen? Yeah, loss of taste and smell permanently. It's like, Dave, what universe are you living in? I guess it's the one where time zones work like that. The clock thing will never not be funny to me.
Who are they anyway? Because unless these teachers are still teaching when they're in their 70s, you got about a 99.9% chance of surviving the coup. Just by numbers. Now, okay, if there's an 85-year-old teaching, I guess... I don't know. Lori Lightfoot and CBS CEO. What the fuck? The CBS administrator. So the Chicago.
Why does he hate teachers so much? Well, Dave's a libertarian. The worst enemy of libertarians is literally any education. So.
Public schools have a CEO. Look, I'm all for capitalism, but that's really fucked up there. You're not a business. You're a public utility. Parents want answers. Yes, they'd like their kids back in school so the parents can go back to work or whatever it is they fucking do. Again, this also proves that parents don't really give a shit about their kids' education and mainly look at school as just free daycare.
Okay. Some probably do, and that's not good. And
the reason I know this is because every time in the middle of the day when kids should be in school, Where are they? They're at Walmart, Target, grocery stores, out and about with mommy shopping because mommy just can't wait till the end of the fucking day to do her shopping.
What is he talking about? Does Dave know? Hold on. Does Dave know that, like, in my school district that I grew up in, like, kindergartners do half days? Is he talking about, like, kindergartners? If they're old enough to be calling her mommy, they're probably in kindergarten, who do half days, at least in my district. Also, who knows? They could be homeschooled. They could be, like, out because they were at a doctor's appointment or something, or maybe the kid's sick. I don't think you should take a sick kid out, but parents are irresponsible so who knows? Like, there are a variety of reasons you might see a child or two out and about during the day. Wow, his subscribers haven't gone up in months. He's still at 10.8. I'm coming up close on him. What am I at? Hold on. I think he was the next person that I wanted to surpass in terms of subscribers. 10,000. Yeah, I'm less than 300 away. Less than 300 away from beating Lord of Patriarchy. Nice.
Anyway, Lightfoot previously insisted schools reopen on Monday or else the teachers would be locked out, but dropped the threat and allowed remote learning to continue after it was clear the union would discard her deadline. This is why teachers shouldn't have unions. They agreed Monday to a cooling off period. The cooling off period expired late Wednesday without a deal to bring about 60,000 kindergarten through 8th grade students who had been due to start in-person learning February 1st back into the classrooms. Kids need to go to class because we're seeing an uptick in teen suicides because of isolation.
I'm sure that's a part of it, and it sucks, and it's not good, and we should be providing support to those kids. The good news is, we're sort of reaching the end of the tunnel. The light's there. We just gotta wait for more people to get vaccinated. I agree. As much as I'm an introvert, and, like, the lockdown hasn't hurt me as much as it's probably hurt a lot of other people mentally, I'm actually okay with staying inside. Even I'm like, I get it. I want to go back outside. I understand. It sucks. It sucks, it sucks, it sucks. And I guarantee and I know that it's impacted a huge number of people's mental health, and that's super, super unfortunate, and it's something that needs to be addressed. But that doesn't undercut the need for isolation during a pandemic that has killed, again, almost 500,000 Americans alone. And on top of that, like I said, all the long-term permanent changes to people, lack of smell and everything, erectile dysfunction in some, like, people. Like, it's causing all sorts of complications for people even after they recover. This is a potentially crippling illness, Dave. This is serious.
Adults can handle isolation decently well for much longer than children, but teens, they need socialization.
Everyone needs social... Fine, whatever.
It's like vitamin C to them, for Christ's sakes. Y'all were teenagers once, you remember. And I suppose some adults need socialization too, like vitamin C. I don't...
Does Dave think adults don't have friends that they spend time with?
No. I've always kind of been a loner, so...
Is that by choice, or...
Discussions continue between the CPS, CTU. We're here to provide blah, blah, blah. The bargaining update. The three big issues, okay, remain unresolved are vaccines, accommodation, and health metrics. Dear teachers, unless you are 3 minutes from retirement, you're going to be just fine.
No? I'm gonna go with no. I like that he also isn't considering the children, like, at all. And I'm not trying to go all Simpsons. Think of the children! But, like, yeah, it's a danger to the students. And there are more students than there are teachers.
We already waste a bunch of money on accommodations anyway, and health metrics are irrelevant.
What do you mean health metrics are irrelevant? Dave, what are you talking about? You can't just assert that health metrics are irrelevant. What are you talking about?
The teachers' union is demanding accommodations be granted for all employees with medical risks, along with those who are household members or primary caregivers of family with a medical risk. Look, I don't...
Oh, did he just realize that he misread it the first time, and they're saying that they're accommodating also for people who live with high-risk individuals, whether they be old or have some condition that would exacerbate COVID? Did he just realize that he's an idiot?
I want to be cruel, but fuck it. I guess I'll be cruel. If
Why stop now?
that is your problem, well, then it's time to shove your father into a nursing home.
God, Dave. Being this much of a misanthrope must just be unbearable. Hating everyone this much and having this little compassion for your fellow human being must just viscerally hurt you mentally every single day. It's a shame.
They're the only ones that are at a real risk of this shit.
No.
I mean, okay, again, if maybe they're both morbidly obese, but...
I know. People are saying he's Baja says he's worse than she remembers. I agree. This is worse than I've seen him. I think Dave's getting worse.
I wouldn't worry about the coop
He's regressing.
killing you. I'd worry about a heart attack. There's not much.
Does he have
difference
kids?
from his initial
No.
proposal
I think he's single.
of telework for all staff who are either in a high-risk category or who live with someone in that category. But kids are not learning.
They're doing online learning.
Kids are not learning outside of school. The remote bullshit is not working and hasn't worked.
What's your basis for that?
We sacrificed a year of kids getting an education.
So we kill less people, and we're still at almost 500,000. Yeah.
That means where there's going to be a hiccup where there's going to be dumber than normal people.
I think we've already reached rock bottom, don't you, Dave?
The district's best offer so far is accommodations for staff who are in a high-risk category, 20% of those who have a household member in that category, along with unpaid leave or a dose of vaccine before
This video broke Surus. Okay, I'll check it out, or I'll put it, if we don't get to it, I'll put it on the list for next Chud Watch.
returning.
Thank you.
In person. They should get unpaid leave. I'm tired. Honestly, if anything, this coof thing is literally this overblown reaction to COVID. Has proven that maybe we don't need schools anymore.
Libertarian thinks public education is a waste of money. More news at 11.
And just how greedy teachers are.
Teachers are an incredibly diverse group of people, and of course there are going to be schools that are better funded and have better teachers, and schools that are less funded that are going to, on the whole, probably have worse teachers, but of course even in low-funded schools, I'm sure there are still plenty of teachers that put in the work and time and care about their students and are really trying their best. Let me just talk about my experience, though. I went to a public school after 5th grade. Before that, I went to a private religious school. And in my time in the public school system, I had good teachers and bad teachers. On the whole, I had a very good experience, though. And the teachers I did know and the teachers that I've known in my youth in public school were some of the most caring, selfless individuals that I've ever known in my entire life. There are teachers that I've known that would do anything for their students, that take their free time away to go and help kids, whether it be to teach them stuff on off hours when they have other things to be doing, like they need to bring up lesson plans, and if they're a coach or something for extracurriculars, they do that. They put their own money into their classrooms because they aren't funded well enough. They're some of the, and again, I'm not saying all teachers, there are plenty of shitty teachers out there like there are in any field, but to categorically blanket say that teachers are selfish and greedy is some of the most out-of-touch, ridiculous nonsense I've ever heard come out of Dave's hole. Like, what are you talking about, Dave?
The CTU wanted all staff to have the opportunity to receive both...
Like, does Dave think that teachers, when the bell rings, they just go home and they sit on the couch? Does he not understand that they're working all the time, making lesson plans, preparing all the materials they need, tests and quizzes and worksheets, they're grading paperwork, they're doing research on their own time on subjects, they're going and getting their credentials re-upped when that's necessary and taking more classes to learn new, methods of, like, teaching? Like, Dave, what do you think teachers do? Is Dave one of those people who, when he was a kid, thought teachers slept at school and didn't realize that they were human beings? Does he think when the bell rings and everyone leaves, the teachers just reboot and they just, like, fall asleep and then they sit there until the bell rings the next day? That's not how this works.
Vaccine doses before returning to schools. That's going to take another 6 months. Again, right when the school year ends. Again, it's not about... When teachers sit there, this proves when teachers sit there and say, I just want to help the next generation. Fuck you. Bullshit. There's my statement to that.
Yeah, F those people trying to help children achieve things and become better people. What a spot-on... This is pathetic. I don't even want to be snarky towards this. This is just so pathetic.
No, you're lazy, greedy motherfuckers that get a full year's salary for doing less than half a year's worth of work.
Less than half a year? The school year's 9 months, Dave. Your understanding of calendars is about as good as your understanding of clocks. Second of all, Dave is a libertarian, meaning he thinks Jeff Bezos totally worth the billions and billions of dollars that he makes. However, a teacher who spends all their free time working on things for students, they're greedy for making $30,000 a year before taxes. God damn it, Dave.
And now...
10 months in most places, Hannah? Maybe that changed. When I was a kid, it was 9 months.
With this thing, you get the opportunity to just do the motherfucking shit in your pajamas. Yeah, you don't want to give that up. You don't want to get up and go out in the cold and drive to school. Okay? You don't want to get on the subway. You don't want to get on the L train. You don't want to get on this, that, or the...
They don't want to endanger themselves, their family, and their students? How about that one? Occam's razor sort of, makes that the most likely scenario, don't you think, Dave?
Third or whatever. However the fuck you get to school... in which you teach, and then go in and teach in a classroom. You'd rather sit in your fucking pajamas, drinking your own coffee in your own living room, and teach that way.
The thing is, I don't even think that's true. I think a lot of teachers are also uncomfortable with the non-in-person teaching, because in some ways it probably is difficult. It's probably difficult to maintain the concentration of a lot of students when you're not in the room with a physical presence that you can sort of command the room with. And I'm not talking about an I am in charge way. I just mean in the way that when you're a public speaker, and teachers are that to an extent, you can sort of control the room and make sure people are paying attention to you with different rhetorical techniques or making sure that they're paying attention, whatever, in person. It's easier than watching a bunch of people on screen in a Zoom meeting or whatever. So I would agree, the teachers probably also want to get back to school. The idea that Dave thinks that they're all, like, greedy people in their pajamas just wanting to be lazy is ridiculous. I would imagine the vast majority of teachers also want to be able to go back to how things used to be so they can get back in the room and teach more effectively, but they're also cognizant because they're apparently more intelligent than Dave, which is good, but it's a low bar. They are cognizant that there is an existential threat to not only themselves and their loved ones, but their students that they care about, and therefore they're taking steps to mitigate potential damage from COVID. Dave! Why are you like this?
Well, it's not helpful for kids. You know, the little bastards I thought you cared about. Okay, the rest of this is just about vaccines.
I want to see how many vaccines have been distributed in the U.S. so far. Is there like a live counter? I know I saw one a while back. Oh, God. I don't think I have a Bloomberg account. 5.5, 5 whole vaccines. I know I had one a while back that I took a look at. United Kingdom, United States. That's as of February. As of February 7th, the United States has distributed, what, 12.45, I assume this is millions? Yes? No? I don't know. Either way. Hopefully that continues soon. CDC has one? Good. Thank you. I don't see the counter. Oh, there we go. Total doses distributed, 59,000. 42, or sorry, not 59,000. 59 million. 42 million have been administered. I assume that's doses. Most of the vaccines, either most or all of the vaccines that have been accepted so far are 2-dose, so split that in half. 21 million people have been vaccinated, roughly, which is better than none, but we gotta up that. And before we get people back to school, it's gotta be more than that.
And oh my God, San Francisco sues its own school board for refusing to open classrooms. Gee, isn't it funny how this all suddenly switched once Biden was in office?
Wait, what are you talking about?
Gee, isn't it sues its own school board for refusing to open classrooms. Gee, isn't it sues its own San Francisco sues its own school board for refusing to open classrooms. Gee, isn't it funny how this all suddenly switched once Biden was in office?
I don't think it did.
The CDC educator vaccine is not a prerequisite for a safe reopening of schools. Evidence that masking and social distancing significantly reduce transmission. Oh my God! 1, kids are damn near immune to it, so they
very untrue.
Don't need either. 2, a teacher on average is what, 35 years old? They'll be just fine.
Plenty of 30-year-olds have died from COVID, and those who haven't, if they caught it, they're still suffering from long-term disability because of it.
Okay, now yes, there's a very small chance they could die. But guess what? They could also die by walking into a Walmart getting hit by a car. Nothing in life is 100% safe. That is retarded to apply that standard. Nothing is that safe. You can die slipping in the bathtub or shower, or falling down your own flight of stairs.
Do 500,000 people... Dave. This is a preventable disease. This is a preventable disease. It's not an accident. It's not slipping. It's not getting hit by a car randomly. This is a completely preventable disease that can be mitigated by social distancing, mask wearing, etc., and can be prevented by keeping people from gathering in large numbers at a place like a school. 500,000 people, Dave. 500,000 people, and we're just talking about deaths. What else can I say to this guy?
Or accidentally being stupid enough to forget you mixed ammonia and bleach. The CTU initially wanted a positivity rate below 3% in order to reopen the district. The most recent position was to close the district if its voluntary staff had a 3% positivity rate. The CTU's counteroffer was to follow CDC criteria for lower risk of transmission, a positive rate below 5%, and fewer than 20 new cases per 100,000 people every 2 weeks. Right now, it's at 5.4. Look, the only places that we should have locked down are nursing homes, maybe put in extra precautions at a hospital because people are in an immunocompromised state.
Dave, does Dave not understand that Dave is in a high-risk group? I think Dave doesn't understand. Both Dave and I would be in high-risk groups because Dave and I are overweight. Like, if I catch COVID or Dave catches COVID, we could die. Like, I'm not as in danger as someone who is elderly or someone with asthma or some other, like, breathing condition. But that doesn't make us not in high-risk groups. Like, what? And yes, even without that, of course, anyone could die. But it's like, Dave thinks this is just not something that can possibly affect him, and it's so strange.
People that do have an like a severe immunodeficiency, or they're 700 pounds, which, again, coof is not their biggest problem. But outside of that, everybody else should just live their life as normal. Now, it may be cruel that I'm locking old people off from society for a time, but...
No, you're cruel because you don't give a shit about the safety of other people. And it's not even something that... What's wild to me about this isn't even something that affects him. It's not like Dave has kids. He's not concerned. He just, like, wants people to go die because he's offended that a union did a thing. This is like libertarianism 101. This union needs to die because I want them to go back to the workforce. Drinks a beer.
Look, I'm sorry. You're old. What the fuck you want me to do? I can't reverse time.
If I could turn back time. Yeah. Now it's stuck in my head. Thanks, Dave.
The tentative agreements have also been reached on ventilation, workspaces, PPE, school safety committees. The CPS has proposed a reduction of students' screen time by 1 hour, along with more prep time for teachers, tech support for families, of course, all paid for by the taxpayer. And additional...
Yes, public health is something that gets paid for via taxes. Good job, Dave. You're right.
Support for students experiencing housing instability. You can thank
these damn taxes paying for pandemic response.
Thank Biden for that. The CPS has not proposed any specific improvements for remote learning or to help those students according to the bargaining documents. Why should they? It is not my job to pick up the internet bill for Chicago public school students. It's their parents' job. I don't care.
Yeah, you don't like anyone, Dave, and you don't care about the public interest at all. You're a selfish cunt. We know. Oh, God, it's so gross.
How much longer is this? Jesus Christ.
People are saying they think he's drunk right now. Honestly, it's hard for me to tell. He's always like this.
The union also wants the district to reduce potential exposure by limiting the number of classes taught by elective educators. What the fuck is that?
Limiting the number of classes taught by elective educators. Presumably people who are educators that teach elective courses. Things like band. Things like, I don't know, home economics thing or whatever. I don't know if they call home economics something different now. Probably people who teach elective courses as opposed to your standard stuff like math or whatever.
And to give up on simultaneous instruction that requires the same person to teach students both in person and remotely. Well, you can't teach shop remotely. Alright, this is where I'm going to end this. This just kind of proves, once again, just how greedy. I'm not going to read the rest of this fucking novel. But, you know.
Teachers are greedy for not wanting them and their students to be exposed to a virus. Genius, Dave.
You know, it proves something I've been saying for goddamn years. Teachers are the most overpaid, greedy motherfuckers on the planet.
How do you say a whole sentence that's just entirely wrong and not once be like, wait a minute. None of this is backed up by facts. Jesus Christ, Dave. Let's look, like in my state of Michigan. What's the average teacher salary in Michigan? Average teacher salary is $61,000. Michigan's actually pretty good, though. My school got paid pretty well, but, yeah, they're not exactly the wealthiest people on the planet, Dave. What an ass. So let's see, the U.S., the average, that's Michigan. This one says $45,000 to $76,000 a year. 76 probably after many years of being a teacher. In my particular city, it's $40,000 to $60,000 a year. Trying to look at just like the national average. Somewhere like Colorado, it's 46. Wisconsin, it's 54. 50, 57. Yeah, they're not being overpaid, Dave. Especially depending on the like price of living. Of course, it's going to be a little higher in California because of the higher cost of living, but like they're getting paid probably underpaid for the amount of work they do. It just frustrates me when people like Dave are like this. They're making higher than the median, but based on what I've seen teachers do, it's not unreasonable. And that median's getting, you know, it's an average. So let me take a look at the bits messages, and then we will move on. Yeah, the median salary in the U.S. is fucking crazy low. And that's getting pulled up by people like Jeff Bezos, too, because it's an average, so it's interesting. Smoke Break, thank you for following. Anani Mouse the 8th, or the 13th, thank you for following. Doodleburb, thank you for the 101 bits. Daddy Sume with 20 bits. Jamesh 2021 with 100 bits says God is the ultimate kink shamer. Doodleburb with 20 bits says the issue is that it's almost like we're just now starting to take necessary precautions to regulate and control COVID, almost like we never did anything about it until now, almost as if leadership before recently didn't treat it seriously enough, and now everyone is trying to force business as usual when we were just starting to get vaccines out and people refuse to wear a mask. Yeah, it's frustrating. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, to be fair, the teachers taught that Dave should have lost their jobs. Dark Gunba, thank you for following. Tetsu Fox, thank you for resubscribing. Logarth with 20 bits says, desperation rant, he must be losing followers. He's not losing them, but he's not really gaining them at this point either. Freaking Out 99 with 20 bits says, my mom is a teacher, so this makes me mad. Teaching from home is actually harder because of all the technical issues, and a lot of teachers are older and at risk because they aren't paid enough to retire. Dave has no clue how hard teachers work and how much they care about their students. Princess Amelia with 100 bits. I feel like many chuds could be made to take COVID-19 more seriously if they emphasized the potential for erectile dysfunction part of the symptoms. Maybe. I've thought of that too. Mike Max 321 with 20 bits says, texting, calling an online service to communicate exist. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, he's single? Wow. Freaking Out 99 with 20 bits says, Dave really doesn't live in the real world. He's incapable of imagining work at home that isn't drinking Coors and in pajamas. Also, the remote learning really isn't as effective, but bad GPA is better than dead. Agree. The Narrator 9000 with 20 bits says, does Dave know that Sir Isaac Newton developed the theory of gravity while he was away from university because of the plague? There was a lockdown then. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, you know if he got COVID, he's effed, right? I don't think he realizes that, no. Vork Void with 100 bits says, you're showing numbers with letters. You expect me to do math? Bitter Grin, thank you for resubscribing with a 2-month streak. Daddy Sume with 20 bits says, as someone who is friends with quite a few teachers, I'm going to sit this out or I'm going to hurt someone. Someone messaged me on Discord when we've moved on. Someone messaged Daddy Sume. Oh, I missed a thing. Goth Geek Gaming, thank you for raiding with a party of 5. Welcome, raiders. Go check out Goth Geek Gaming here on Twitch. We're just looking at chuds today. Welcome. Razor, thank you for resubscribing with a 5-month streak. I had my notification noises turned off, sorry. This explains Dave's cooking. He truly thinks he's an expert in everything. We should watch some of the cooking videos from Dave sometime. The Shadow Witch with 100 bits says, I have been mostly silent for a week and a half, but listen here, Dave, you can kiss my educator ass. I am now taking care of 2 high-risk parents and took a leave of absence to do so. I pay out of pocket for most things. My TV as my presenter, my tablets, my laptop, my hundreds of different tools I use to teach, I paid for them. So F you, Dave, and you can kiss my nationally certified physics and math teacher unionized ass. I work 12 plus hours a day, and that doesn't include my PD. Yeah, get it. Fuck Dave. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, Dave doesn't understand insert noun here. Logarth with 20 bits, Lord of Illiteracy. That XY girl with 100 bits, I have to simultaneously teach 15 in-person students and 15 online students most of my daily classes. This year is not cushy. Yeah, I would imagine it's not. It's probably really, really bad. By the way, if there are any teachers in the audience, thank you for what you do. I'm sorry Dave is such an absolute a-hole. I recognize, and I think everyone here recognizes, that this lockdown has been hard on educators, and it must be very difficult switching to online classes and dealing with students digitally instead of in person. I imagine that's stressful, and it's a huge change, and it's a pain. And just know that most people appreciate what you do, and you deserve, like, all the kudos in the world. You're wonderful people, so thank you, teachers. Zombie Tomcat with 50 bits says, my mother teaches grade 3 and it was so hard to keep their attention while at home and in front of a computer or tablet. She dug out an old iPad to solve a problem a student had accessing the website, accessing the website they were using. Also, she had many parents who just wouldn't help their children with anything and left their young children to figure out everything. Yikes. Profane Priestess with 25 bits says, the hardest working people I ever met were teachers. Does Dave not know most teachers work 60 hours or more a week when you take in grading, prep, and bureaucracy? Doodleburb with 20 bits says, Dave, some of you may die, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make. MMO Addicted with 20 bits says, hey, did you know that in one of the draft plans in Poland, priests were being vaccinated before asthmatic people? Thankfully, it did not pass, but still, despite having low chances to survive COVID, I got vaccinated with the general populace of healthy folks. Well, I'm glad you got vaccinated, though. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, unions work. Police unions get away with murder. Logarth with 20 bits, I think I cracked Dave's clock code. He has them set that so he can crack a beer and say it's 5 o'clock somewhere every 10 to 15 minutes. Oh, he's definitely done that. Rennie Need, thank you for following. Tucker White 94 with 20 bits. Can you imagine historians thousands of years from now looking back at this time period and trying to comprehend the mindset that allowed COVID to spread as bad as it has in the US? I would imagine it'll be part of a larger understanding that this period is, unfortunately, not only do we have a pandemic in terms of a disease, but we have almost an outbreak of conspiratorial and anti-intellectual thinking that's damaging the core of many of our institutions, from our trust in experts like doctors to I don't know, just stuff like QAnon, right? It's a serious social problem that we're dealing with, and I don't know what we're going to do about it. But I would imagine this period in time will be known for that. Who knows, though? And narcissistic entitlement, yeah. Freaking Out 99 says, a lot of time teachers work, they are unpaid too. A ton. Like anything they do outside of school day is unpaid. There's a lot of planning and making assignments and grading. Yeah. MMO Addicted with 20 bits. Higher than the median. Here they earn less than half the median. Literally an entry-level bank clerk earns more. Lord Necro JZ with 35 bits says, it bothers me that I just realized I make as much as a teacher and as an in-home caregiver. Goth Geek Gaming, again, thank you for the raid. Meaty52, thank you for gifting a sub. Dither1987, thank you for following. Bile Gherkin, thank you for resubscribing. MMO Addicted with 20 bits says, I will get vaccinated. Haven't yet. Estimate is 7 months from now. Gotcha. Well, hopefully things will be uneventful until then. Bitter old-ass broad says, I would just like to sacrifice my foot for that dude for all of chat. I don't get it. Hold on, I got a text. I gotta check, and then it's probably Baja. Dead air. Talk amongst yourselves, children. Almost done. Okay, I'm good. Okay, I want to talk about this woman. I forget what her name is. Doesn't really matter. This woman is one of the most toxic individuals I think I've ever seen in my life, which is saying a lot considering the kind of people we cover on this show regularly. She is a streamer, has a YouTube channel, Playmate Tessie. Sorry, took me a second. I hate when words are all scrunched together. It's very hard for me to read. This is why I can't do novelty license plates, okay? Don't do it. Anyway, this person basically just insulted a cancer patient. They had a cancer patient on their stream, and they straight roasted her for 8 minutes. So we're gonna watch this. It is disgusting. This is a warning for, content and everything. It's gonna be bad. She's gonna say awful things to this person with cancer. So, just a warning. Trigger warning for all that sort of stuff. She's going to be, and this is bad. It's really bad. So we're gonna watch this, and then we'll watch some of her other stuff after she got kicked out of her house for doing this, and,
Take off your wig, you big bitch. Take off your wig.
I don't need
It is a wig. Oh my god, that's embarrassing. Leukemia? Do you have cancer? Oh my god, do you have cancer? You are such a loser. You're wearing a wig because you're bald. How pathetic can you be? You're fat, you're ugly, you look deformed, you're poor, and you have cancer and no hair, and your wig's crooked, by the way. Fix it. Take off your wig.
Yeah, it's right away. Just so everyone knows. Doesn't ease into it.
Don't be a pussy. Take off your wig, leukemia. You have fucking cancer. You're such a loser. Oh my god, I can't. So, what's it like having fucking cancer?
She's got the weirdest, like, narcissism, too. If you watch any of her videos, oh my god, she's live right now.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, no, she was live earlier when I loaded this video. Oh, no, she is live right now.
I don't know what to put.
She just constantly talks about how great she thinks she is. It's so strange. And she streams, like, constantly. I don't understand where the inflated ego came from either. Because, and again, your value as someone who does content online is not based on how many subscribers you have. But when I initially saw this video, I guess I assumed she had, like, hundreds of thousands of viewers or something. Like, someone could have that and have it go to their head, which is unhealthy. But I've seen that happen. But she only has, like, 6,000 subscribers, and she acts like this, and it's so strange.
No, like, I'm being serious. Like, it's like, where did it go? Like, it's not like I bought that much. Yeah, no, I seriously need to find out.
Let's go back to the thing so we can...
And having to wear wigs.
Well, it's great because people give me money.
People pay you to be f***ing ugly and bald?
No, people pay me because I'm dying.
You're such a f***ing loser. Basically, you're getting a welfare for special needs.
Oh, God.
So people give you money to, like, go away because they don't want to deal with you. Like, they pay you to, like, go away, basically.
People give me money to be plastic and to go off on people and to make fun of people. Is that what it is?
No, I'm not
Yeah.
putting this in my video.
Yeah.
I'd get canceled, bitch. I'm never gonna get caught. My supporters will not, like, you're never gonna expose me. My supporters will never know that I call fat, ugly bitches losers like you.
Who even are you since
I'll
you're such
literally
a
take
big
all of your
celeb?
cancer money and, like, I'll sue you for all your wigs and cancer money.
Since
Oh my
you're
god,
such a
I'll
big
literally take
celebrity.
I'll literally
No, this is on... She streams on YouTube, not Twitch.
sue you for all your chemo.
To my knowledge. At least I think she streams mostly on Twitch. Or on YouTube. Let me take a look. Yeah, I don't see a Twitch link. Looks like she's just messing with her makeup right now or something. She streams all the time. She does sleep streams.
Oh, I think my thing is here. I might have to BRB.
Which I think is against Twitch TOS at this point. I think they stopped people doing the sleep stream thing.
Therapy.
What's your name since you're such a big celebrity?
I know what you're doing and you're trying to incriminate me because I know you know exactly who I am. I'm not stupid. Like,
I don't know who you are outside of this disgusting video. Again, you only have 6,000 subs. You're not, like, known.
I have no idea who you are.
yeah, right. Yeah, I'm like.
Like who? Did you forget? Did the plastic in your face make you?
There was one on the banner. Oh, I see. Okay.
You know exactly who I am. I'm not f***ing stupid. I know you've been
you
filming the
seem
whole
like
time
it.
because you think you're gonna cancel me and get clout off of me. Never. And you're trying to get me to confess, incriminate myself. Yeah,
I don't
nice
need
try.
clout from you.
Nice try. I'll literally take all your cancer money. I'm gonna take your Make-A-Wish Foundation. I'm going to sue you for all your f***ing wigs and chemo. Try me, bitch. Fix your wig. No, just fix it.
You get it. She goes on for a long time just saying the worst, most disgusting stuff. She also had some really weird stuff in, like, a hotel recently after she got kicked out of her house. Her dad kicked her out for both that and a separate incident. She's apparently like this all the time. And she filmed an argument that her dad was having with her sibling. And in fairness, I think the dad was being a dick. But, like, that stream got the dad fired from his job. Someone sent the stream where he was, like, yelling at his daughter to his workplace, and it got him fired. So the dad kicked her out of the house. And this is the dad's response.
This channel was really, the intent of this channel was always to be for the purpose of Formerly Me, which was my body transformation and weight loss journey for the past year plus, and that I'm still doing actually. And that's what the intent and purpose of this was always to be. But due to some family drama, my oldest daughter has, with her streaming internet life that she has for herself, she has decided to involve her rest of her family into that drama that she has imposed upon us all. And there's been a lot of things. I was not aware that she was live streaming while she's sleeping. Like, who does that? Like, who just puts on a camera and just films herself while they're sleeping? But again, I don't understand the current culture of what people will watch as entertainment or to pass the time. Since you want to, dox me and put my home address out on the internet, blast me and my social media account.
I've literally never seen before, by the way, online drama where you do back and forth videos between a parent and a child. This is so surreal that it's streamer drama between a parent and their kid. What is this? What is the future? Why is life like this? Call out video to my progeny.
And the things that I'm trying to do with my
sleeping stream when? Never, because I think on Twitch they banned that because a lot of people were doing just straight up sleep streams, which it's a one-note joke. You know what I mean? And also, who wants to take up server space just sleeping?
My life in the world. I'm doing this live as kind of my response to that. Now, I'm not trying to seek retaliation. I'm not. I really am not trying. I'm not trying to be vindictive. But the point is that I raised you on my own for 13 years. 13 years as a single parent. Never been the best parent in the world. There's a lot of parents out there probably have been in similar situations to what I'm in right now that can totally identify with what I'm having to deal with right now. I'm dealing with a whole bunch of crap right now. But I'm an adult and I'll deal with it. I'll deal with it and I'll move on. But Maya, you just started being an adult and you've never had to pay for really anything in your life. You've never had to be responsible for bills. But that all ended last night because you decided to call the cops thinking that I'm going to threaten your life and kill you, which there is no record of that.
Oh yeah, she also called 911 on her dad after he was like, you need to leave. And she was like, he's gonna murder me. I think he has a gun. He's gonna kill me.
Completely false, but just to get attention from the internet and increase your view count and likes and subscribers, whatever your aims were, you basically acted out a scenario where your life was in danger. You called 911. So this is completely self-imposed. You evicted yourself before I had a chance to. So congratulations, Maya, or Tessie, or however you pronounce that bullshit name. You played yourself. What you're doing, Maya, is malicious. It's vindictive. It's negative. I just, for the past, I was up till 6:30 in the morning watching your bullshit live stream, watching other content where you're going after people because of either a disability, their ethnicity, or disease, or a thing like cancer. That is horrible. And the problem is I'm
based stream dad.
As your father, this is not the person that I raised. I did not raise you to be evil or to do negative things like this to other people and cause other people grief and harm, because that's what you're doing. Now, it's one thing, do it to me and all your followers, your fanboys, I don't know what the labels are for these guys that are like, I don't know if they're simps or white knights trying to come to your rescue. You can rescue yourself. You're completely capable of rescuing yourself. But no, you got to be the damsel in distress. You got to play the victim. But at the time you're doing that, you're going after people and you're causing damage. And it's real damage. It's called real world damage because there's real consequences to the stuff that you put out on the internet. As your father, I'm gonna always love you. I'm always gonna say I don't want no ill to happen to you. I don't. I cross my heart. I don't want nothing bad to happen. If something bad happened to you, I See, that's the thing. For anyone that's a parent out there, I hope you understand what I'm doing right now, because I'm so angry and so upset. Yet, when you love somebody, when you freaking love somebody, if anyone's out there ever really love someone with the core of your soul, and then they do something to really hurt you, betray you, it is just, it's truly being stabbed both in the back and in the heart. Because not only did she stab him in the back would have been one thing. That's what she did when she posted those streams a couple days ago, because I didn't know about it.
You get it. Let's take a look at what she did after she... God, I guess I don't know if she uses any like racial slurs in these, so I don't think that's a good idea if I play these. Shoot. At least the other one, bleeped it, but I don't know if that video bleeps it. In fairness, I don't know if she does use any slurs or anything, but I don't know if I want to risk that either. Because then I'd have to nuke the VOD, and I'd rather not do that. Yeah, she does say the F slur. Good point. I could probably pull up the Repsion video. I think Repsion bleeped it, so I could probably pull that up and show you guys that.
Like, oh my god, that's embarrassing. Leukemia? Do you have cancer? Oh my god, do you have cancer?
Hold on to your jimmies with this one. It's gonna send anger through your veins.
I like those glasses on him. Here's the stream that got her dad fired. And just so you're aware, the dad did scream at, like, the sister or something, so... What's the link to her stream? I'm not going to link you guys to her stream. You get it. The dad is yelling at the sister, and that got him fired. And yeah, he's being ridiculous in that clip. This is where she called the cops.
Like, telling me to leave right now or he will, like, hurt me.
I will link you guys to Repsion's video on this. Here you go, because it is very... good and very interesting.
My dad wants me to leave right now.
Repsion obviously goes much more in depth into this, but I just wanted to give you guys a taste because it's interesting.
I don't have a chance to move. I have no internet.
How did he get fired for that? Wrongful termination. In the US, most states are right to work states. You can get fired for any or no reason.
Saying that if I don't...
Just about any. There are protected reasons you can't be fired, but unless it's specifically said that you can't be fired for something, then you can be fired for it.
Don't leave that I will be like
labor laws are really bad in the US.
He is threatening to hurt me and he's coming back in an hour and I have to leave immediately or he will harm me. And I no notice, no anything. I am 18, but there's no notice. Really? I'm just being told right now on the spot. It's 1 a.m. in the morning and I'm being told that if I don't leave that I will be in danger, that my life is being threatened. Right, and I'm fully capable of moving. Like, I work all the time. So I do the internet. Like, I do YouTube and like stuff like that. YouTube, Twitch, whatever. I'm financially fine. And my dad is threatening to sue me because I fell asleep.
She must get a lot in donations then, considering she only has 6,000 subscribers. She must get so many donations if she's okay.
On a live stream, and my dad was screaming at my sister and my view.
What's your job? I do the internet.
Leaked the clip of.
That's what I tell people. When I've made, you know, when you ever go to a store and you buy stuff, like when I bought my bedroom furniture set, or when I bought like my TV at Best Buy or whatever, you get in conversations with the salespeople and they inevitably end up asking, so what do you do for a living? And I gotta be like, I do YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I like doing YouTube, but it's a hard thing to explain to people, and there's no way to say that without sounding at least a little cringy. I don't know.
Of him yelling and he's threatening to sue me. I don't remember exactly what he said, but he basically said that if I am not out in an hour that he is going to like seriously harm me, and he said that I better be out or it's over, and he's gonna hurt me and like he's gonna like whatever. And then
just say online entertainment and let them fill in the blanks.
my sister's banging on my door and it's really scary, and my dad's like threatened to kill me multiple times. My dad's very like.
Is he on location right now?
Ma'am?
Is he at the house right now?
No, he is not there right now. He said that he will be back in an hour. So I'm terrified. Like, I need help.
Does he have any weapons within the
Yes, he has multiple weapons, and I do, and it's like, I don't know how he even got access to the weapons he's got. He has serious mental disorders. He has multiple guns. He has swords. They're everywhere. He doesn't even keep his guns in a case. I really think he's gonna kill me. Please have someone come. That's 1028.
The hotel she checked into.
Hotel IRL. Guys, this is depressing. I wish I brought Molly. Hold on, I'm not really like looking my best. But guys, we're doing a hotel IRL. This should be fun. Do you want me to take you off of live stream?
No. It's very despicable of you.
Do you want me to take you off?
You can leave me on because I have some things to say, and they should hear it too. You are a narcissistic drama queen, okay? You are. All of this is you're doing because you can't do the basic things like bathe, take a bath, and what's really, really, really sad here is that all this drama you're creating just so you can monetize
He's talking to
and make
himself.
some money and get some 15 minutes of fame. I mean, who do you think you are? You think you're just like that Catch Me Outside girl? Is that your
I mean, who do you think you are?
Is that what you're gonna do next? Drop a rap album? I mean, I don't know.
I already did that several times.
Oh no, do we need to look at a rap album? God damn it. She has a second channel where she has rap stuff. I know I took a look at it earlier.
In here before.
Let me see if anyone links to it.
Been having a pretty
yeah, I don't know.
You do you. You have your life. Enjoy your life. But what you've done.
There we go. Some of these are probably the rap.
This isn't laced. I just put a whole lot of pink in it. Pass that bitch. Yeah, pass it. Pass that shit, you bitch. My plug wears pink all the time. I feel really high. Makes me want to rhyme about colors. I'm popping them pills. I'm popping them beans. Yeah. I'm using that one. Flat. Yeah. I'm my bitch. I feel high. I'm popping them pills. Flat. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Don't do all the fucking coke, you bitch. Yeah. Save some good for me.
I miss Rebecca Black.
Taking $100 bill. Yeah. Then I sort that cocaine. And yeah. Pink.
so bad. Yeah, Danzy Sings is better than this. Saved.
Today, what you've been doing is I don't even know you anymore. Reddit, whatever other platforms you're trying to get your 15 minutes fame. But I hope you enjoy this 15 minutes, because once this 15 minutes is over, it's a cold, hard reality awaiting you.
Oh, you could save your breath, because this is just the beginning. This is just the beginning. Save your breath.
Yeah, the dad makes a very good point. Never get into streaming and assume it'll be a long-term thing. I enjoy it, and I hope I'm able to maintain an audience for years to come, but I also recognize that this is, you know, this kind of thing is always precarious, and there's always the chance people are going to get tired of you, so never assume that it's permanent.
Breath. This is just the beginning. This is just the beginning.
First off, for future reference, you probably should let your parents know if you're doing real life streaming in your house and everything is being broadcasted, so like real family private matters don't get put on the internet. This is not the fault of the dad or the other sister. This is fault of this Tessie girl. And I'm just gonna flat out say this. Like, if you are somebody who is going to, in the same conversation, have a conversation with your dad doesn't make any, you know, physical threats or anything like that. You know, you have a father here who's trying to provide for his daughters, and in which she's releasing private conversations, but she just blasts us all on the internet. Again, move you. You can't do that. She can never be canceled, and yet her dad cancels his insurance. Oops.
Check out the Repsion video on this, though. It's quite good. I haven't watched Repsion. The last time I think I watched Repsion was probably during the Onision stuff, although I guess it's still going on. He did one 2 weeks ago. Oh, he does have an OnlyFans. Cool. He still does Onision stuff. I guess I haven't just watched in a while since Chris Hansen was doing it. So, but yeah, check out Repsion. Did Jake and I ever collab with him? Once, yes. I'm gonna play this, but hold on. Yeah, no. Definitely can't play that. You guys can't hear this, right? No, you guys can't hear that. Good. Okay. That's a shame. I'll have to find one that's bleeped sometime, because it is very interesting, but I just wanted to give you guys a smattering of stuff from her to show you guys the kind of person she is, and as it turns out, not very good. So, yeah. Can we get a cleanse? Sure. Do we have a shorter cleanse than this one? I'm sure this one's good, but it's like 10 minutes long. I don't really want to do a 10-minute long cleanse right now. Hi, kitty. Meow? Anyway, moving on. Sorry, I'm just looking for something to do. A cleanse. Someone else had a link. Oh, he doesn't understand he has hiccups. It's so cute. Danzy is not a cleanse. Now, I find the Danzy stuff funny, but even I'm not going to subject you to that and pretend it's a cleanse.
Give our people the truth. Don't act like you knew it. This is real. In fact, you can Google it. I don't know what you need to wake you up, to do your job, and inform the American people, whether you like it or not, of the things they need to know. What do we have to do to get you to give our people the truth? I feel kind of stupid, and you all should, unless you're stupid. What you had to do is go online and find out. Aha, unless they take it down. Aha, I deserve it. Aha, so you can find it. Aha, please don't make light of it. Many of them were triple counted. They were put into the counting machine this way.
Wrong.
Once.
This is wrong.
Twice.
This is not right.
3 times.
This is deception.
Once, twice, 3 times. Give our people the truth. Don't act like you knew it. This is real. In fact, you can Google it. I'm here to vote today. Oh, Mr. Giuliani, you already voted. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. And it's outrageous that it's tolerated. And it's tolerated because you condone it. You don't cover it. You don't condemn it. It's your job to read these things and not falsely report that there's no evidence. You agree or disagree, it's evidence. There's nobody here that engages in fantasies. I know crimes. I can smell them. You don't have to smell this one.
What are on those tables? Ballots. Ballots. The tables are being turned over. Those tables are being turned over. The tables are being turned over. And he came to a table and he turned it over.
Release the Kraken. Give our people the truth. Don't act like you knew it. This is real. In fact, you can Google it. What the fuck, bro?
Okay, everybody, listen. I have here in my possession a $19 Fortnite card, which you can use to purchase items in the Fortnite store. Does anybody want it? And yes, before you ask, I will be giving it away. So remember, share, and most importantly, share. And to address the people trolling me, I only have one piece of advice. Try to avoid getting blocked.
Hail, Satan!
That's funny. One more and then we'll get back at it with the chuds. Bye, kitty. Thanks for stopping by. Ada Blue says none of us have enjoyed a cookie quite that well. Speak for yourself. The pig's like, okay, is that all the cookies? I'm going back to sleep. Yeah. Sleep, be cozy, search for cookies. We have the same primary goals. Like when the Terminator, it comes up and it's like, find John Connor, terminate John Connor, whatever. Okay, let me do some bits messages and we'll get to another chud. Daddy Sume says, there's only one solution for dead air, Christian side hugs. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, cancer sucks, it kills people, I love, but it's dragging its ass when it comes to Rush Limbaugh. Logarth with 20 bits, this one is the first in line for the meat grinder. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits says, I am screaming. Querulous Artisan with 20 bits says, what's it like to have cancer? It sucks. It sucks and it's exhausting and you are in constant pain and tired, you absolute walnut. People who have to fight cancer are so much better than you will ever be, Tessie or whatever your name is. Oof. Coming in with the, the digs. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits, I want to smack... Oh, no. Can't read that. Logarth. I changed my mind. The meat grinder... No. I can't read that. Logarth with 20 bits just says Jeff Bezos. Tucker White says, okay, this dad is just as bad as his daughter. Yes, what she did was a dick move, but you're not being an adult by throwing your own daughter onto the bus and onto the street. From what I've seen from the rest of the video, she was pretty toxic most of the time, and she's not a minor, to my knowledge. I would generally agree with the sentiment, but, like, there are just, like, narcissistic, toxic, awful people that will never change, and I don't know. But you said in Minecraft? Yeah, that doesn't fly anymore on Twitch. They explicitly said, don't do that. Because they're not stupid. They know what that means. Nutmeg79, thank you for following. Querulous Artisan with 20 bits says, F right to work states. I agree. Profane Priestess with 20 bits says, tell them you're an accountant. That's even more boring. She's not a minor? Yeah, that's what I said. I think, yeah, she's an adult. She looks young, but I don't know. I don't know how old she is, though. MMO Addicted to 20 bits says, it's not permanent, so you have the backup plan of becoming a filthy landlady. True. Tucker White with 20 bits says, yeah, I hate both of these people. She's got an ego that'd make Narcissus turn away in disgust and is manipulative as hell. The father's an even bigger POS for disowning his own daughter. He doesn't go to lecture her about leaking private family drama online when he did exactly the same thing. Lord Locke. Lord Locke, thank you for following. Earnfist, thank you for the 200 bits, says with a Bible thump emoji. Querulous Artisan of 20 bits says, sorry, I may have been a little angry. I hugged a cat. Everything is better. Good. Kitties make everything better. Mike Max says, online Karen with an ego. Thank God she's not a mother at the moment. And then Logarth of 20 bits says, the pillory is not violent, though. It's the thing they lock your arms and head in, and rowdy villagers throw rotten fruits and vegetables at you. Okay. Still, no. I gotta prepare my body for this one. Terrence Popp has another video that he thinks Civil War is coming. I think this is another video that probably deserves to get sent to the FBI, but who knows? So let's take a look.
Get out of and away from the big cities and let them implode, because that's going to happen. At what point is that going to happen? Are you going to wait till you have 100 people out in front of your house? Because you can still possibly get away, but there will be all kinds of collateral damage, and you may or may not come up on, a blotter to be arrested immediately.
No, John Doyle didn't make his video yet. You'll know. As soon as we do a Chud Watch and that video's out, that'll be the title video for that episode.
Everybody, Terrence Popp here with another episode of Live from the Lair. And I don't have my hat on today because I left it in the car, and fuck you, I'm not going to go get it. All right.
You only own one hat? Amateur.
Now, if you've been following these episodes, I have occasionally touched on craziness. I talked about the stunning and brave erection that took place. And I am probably going to continue talking about...
That's a different Terrence, secular socialist.
Said things every now and again. Hopefully, if I have enough material, I will talk about it every single time. Though I will talk about red pill MGTOW subjects as they come about. Alright, so let's get into it, shall we? Alright, as we know, we have a new president who was fairly unduly elected on that great erection night, and so forth.
He's very salty about Biden winning the election.
Now, historically speaking, when this government and this country was stood up in the 1700s, they knew that every single government that has ever existed has a 100% chance of going off the rails. So they tried to limit that by having us a bunch of checks and balances built into our government to keep that from happening. Okay, from what we saw on Stunning and Brave Erection Night, it's just an insane amount of craziness that unfolded. There are mountains of evidence. And the judges across this country refused to do anything about it.
No, they did stuff about it. They dismissed cases that had no merit, which is their job. They were Republicans, and many were Trump appointee judges. They just didn't have a case because Biden won the election fairly.
So what we had take place was very close, if not identical, to what has happened in several past banana republics. And we all know how those turned out. I actually write books, and my second one came out...
I'm surprised he can read.
...roughly 3 months ago. Basically, the series is called The Jericho Files, and it's about a psychic who hunts and stalks serial killers.
How much are these books? And how much do I have to pay to be able to read some of these to you? Obviously not in their entirety, but in a fair use review way, where I could get some excerpts. Oh my god, it's only $9.99. Oh no! Oh god! This is book 2, so, you know, we might be lost, but let's take a look at the prologue. This is publicly available on Amazon as the, you know, the preview, so this is fine. Good and evil, the dance of the universe is a delicate balance that must be kept. See, if I'm at a publishing company and I read that, this is already in the trash. If this is the manuscript, this is already in the trash. Where there's good, there will be evil. Where there's evil, there must be good. The universe will tolerate nothing less. Evil never sleeps nor rests. It takes no prisoners and has no mercy. It only negotiates for position and bides its time until it can utterly destroy those in its path. What is typically spoken about in this eternal conflict is that good is stronger than evil. This is untrue. Ooh, and then that's the end of the paragraph, so he gets to... Even though the next paragraph's only 2 sentences long. But whatever. Very short paragraphs. Excuse me. The two forces are equally matched, and evil doesn't only fight good, it fights evil as well. Evil does not play well with others, and by its very nature attacks the weak, even if weakness is within our own ranks. There's an instrument that the universe uses to bring back into balance the light and the darkness. Thomas Maxwell... oh god, what is this? Bellizel? I'll say Bellizel. Thomas Maxwell Bellizel is that instrument. He's not much to look at first glance, just a face in the crowd, a slow, drowning mouth breather in the sea of mediocrity, another bland visage of a man who doesn't merit a second glance, but the bottom of his resume pile is not where the story ends, it's where the story begins. Below the surface of Thomas Maxwell Belzel? I already forgot how I pronounced this. Deep under his skin, carved on the walls of his soul and burned into his heart, the real story is written. Once upon a time... Oh, God, don't put once upon a time in your story. Once upon a time, there was a boy whose closest friends were the spirits of the dead. They weren't the stereotypical specters and monsters that merely haunt the nightmares of most. These spirits were as real to Tom as the flesh and blood creatures of the world. That suited Tom just fine. It was his normal. An introvert to begin with, he didn't entirely notice or mind when he unknowingly crept into the world of the weird and became an outcast in the eyes of most who came into contact with him. During his childhood, he was often ostracized, and because of this, he grew to be content to be by himself. He learned to feel at home on the darker side of the world, a place where his spirit companions could... we get it, okay? He talks to ghosts. Thomas was formed and forged into a unique man, a soldier, spy, assassin, psychic, remote viewer, and hunter of evil. I'm assuming the first book goes into the soldier, spy, assassin parts. Most are unaware, blah, 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 blah. You get it. Thomas Maxwell Belzel is the demon who fights the devil, the thing that monsters dread, the thing that stalks the shadows with abandon. If fate had been kind to troubled souls, Thomas Maxwell Belzel has already set out on his way to complete his grim work for their benefit. He pulls those troubled souls from the pit of despair, rescues the lost from the black maw of evil, and at times beats back death itself on their behalf. As for those who have stood in his way, if they saw anything at all, it was the flash of Thomas Maxwell Belzel's eyes as he hurled them into oblivion. Let's read a little bit of chapter 1 and then we'll go back to the video. Oh my God, look at how short the chapters are. Oh God. It was Friday, November 18th, 1977. Ooh, it's a period piece. Tom had just finished lunch at the chow hall down the block from his barracks. The place wasn't full because his battalion was on block leave for the Thanksgiving holiday. He walked back down to the headquarters building and signed himself out. It was 1:30 p.m. when he was dropped off at the Raleigh-Durham International Airport by a friend who owned a Chevy Impala. 30 minutes later, just a friend who owned a Chevy Impala. That's the description of that character. 30 minutes later, he was strolling down the hallway to his flight. Jake was walking behind him as he boarded. Who's Jake? Okay. Tom's mind was deep... Again, I would need to read the first book. Fair enough. Tom's mind was deeply occupied as he thought... Oh, no, that's his name. That's the main character's name, right? Isn't it Thomas something? It's good that I already forgot the main character's name, right? The taxi took him to the Amtrak train station several miles away. Once there, he bought coach tickets to and from Enfield, New York. The train station was a dirty, vile place. The floors were grimy, the seats in poor condition. There was a color TV mounted on the wall. A football game was being played. It's like he's putting details in, but they're like really, really sparse details. The train was dirty. The seats were bad. There was a football game on. Like, it's describing, but in the barest minimum way. They're details that mean nothing to the scene. They don't set the stage. They don't provoke any particular mood or anything. I don't know. That's funny, though. What's the first book in the series? Hold on. The Killers of Killers. This was his first book. Again, beautiful cover on this one. It looks like that gun was photoshopped into the art. Oh no, he was in the Michigan National Guard? Oh God. Look at how short the first chapter is. Mary, 12, raced down the hill to Pepperdine's, the local diner and shop. She coasted the last 100 meters until she stopped in front of the shop. Moments later, Tom, 7, rolled up and almost crashed. Instead of using the brakes, he dragged his foot to slow down the bike. Mary stepped in front of Tom's bike and grabbed the handlebars so Tom wouldn't crash. Little Tom put the kickstand down and walked towards the front door. Mary grabbed him by the shoulder and spun the little boy around. They argued for a moment, and then Tom handed his money to his sister. She kissed him and walked inside. Tom stayed outside and watched... Oh, God, it's just so boring. And yeah, you don't say Tom 7. You don't just list, like, the age of the character directly after you introduce the character. Back to the video, sorry.
There are some very explicit kill 'em up death scenes in there, and my friends called it gore porn, but what do they know?
Yeah, that makes sense.
And so far, it's got 4 to 5 stars on Amazon. You should probably check it out, and it is print on demand. But if you're one of those guys that can't read like me, or you're just too lazy to read, we're going to have audiobooks.
Oh, yes.
Coming out soon. So, in the meantime, click on the links in the description and go enjoy your own gore ornpay. Power corrupts. And absolute power corrupts absolutely. You have a stunning and brave, duly elected president who is half out of his mind.
Trump? He's not president anymore.
You have a vice president who has a history of doing very, very bad shit when it comes to her lane, which was criminal justice and prosecuting people. And she got to that level by basically getting her tonsils buttered and her heels up.
These people, they always gotta take like a female politician and call her a slut. It's the only thing they know how to do with women because they only see women as sexual objects. It's so gross.
Just saying. So if you think that this administration and the deep state who now enjoys power, who actually has had enjoyed power for 30 years, now they have absolute power.
The president doesn't have absolute power. That's not how that works. The executive branch does not have absolute power of the government.
Because they can do whatever the fuck they want, because all 3 branches of the government are no longer for the people and by the people.
You lost an election, dipshit. You lost the Senate and the presidency and the judiciary. If you're talking about the Supreme Court is majority conservative. What are you talking about?
They are there to put their boot on the neck of the people. That's what I'm going for. So what do you think is going to happen now that big government has big tech arm in arm now? Okay, so I'm going to go through what lies ahead and what's next. All right, number 1. Before my primary Facebook account was deleted...
Gee, I wonder why that was.
I was a member of virtually every militia group in the United States.
Hey, here's a random thing. Here's 2 links back to back that mean literally nothing. Here's a link to this video, and then, I don't know. What's a random link? Random link. Here's the tip page for the FBI. I don't know, just random links I can send you, I don't know why.
To include Puerto Rico and Alaska. Now, Facebook went in there and got rid of a bunch of those guys, and then I got deleted. And then I basically did the same thing on MeWe.
Did you guys know Terrence Popp was at the Capitol on the 6th? I'm not kidding. He has a video on his website from prior to that where he said he's going down to work as private security for some other right-wingers during the January 6th thing. Gee, I wonder where he was that day.
They shut Parler down. We'll see if it comes back. And if you go to MeWe and you search for the word militia, there's absolutely, there are no results found. So you have to basically spell out militia until you get to the point where it cuts off, you can't find it, and you can still find them on there. So I do still post to those pages as long as they still stay around. All right, now I'm anticipating that big tech is going to wipe out the right for a little while. They're going to come back and they're going to reorganize.
Just don't promote violence. How hard is it to not be like, hey guys, what if we do a crime? Don't do crimes!
Guys, in the future, but I don't know when that'll be. All right, so if you are one of those big groups that I was talking to, you need to probably listen close. Now, if you have a big group, it would probably be in your best interest to break it up into a bunch of small groups, thus decentralize.
He's literally talking about strategies for attacking the US government. Seriously, guys, please consider the links that I sent in chat and do whatever you want with those 2 links. They're not linked or anything, but in case you want to look at one and then look at another.
So if you have 300 people in your group, you might want to break it down to 10-30 people groups, or 10 people groups, or 65 people groups. And limit your face-to-face between, designated representatives of said groups. And then I will go over that in the future when I talk about some tradecraft. And we're going to talk about it on this board as well. All right, number 2. Now, doesn't it make sense if you're going to spread out your personnel, you spread out the supplies? You do not want to have everything in one area where it can basically go up in smoke. Food, water, what have you. All right? You're going to have to spread that out, and I will walk you through how to do that using tradecraft in the future. Number 3. Shop for backing. Now, the left, they were very successful because they had a lot of backing from a lot of big corporations out there. They've been organizing since Occupy Wall Street came about. And they saw those individuals and they're like, hey, you know what? We really could use some useful idiots in the future. So let's give them money. Teach them tradecraft, have them build up their numbers, and then we'll, when the time is right, we'll release them into the...
Is he under the impression that Black Lives Matter or Antifa are a psyop created by corporations or something?
General population to wreak havoc and...
Again, with the recognition that Antifa is not an organization in the way that these idiots tend to, describe it.
Basically, be a diversion and seed fear. I can almost guarantee you, the 72 to 82 million people who voted for President Trump are the Populist Party. They are basic.
72 to 82? I think you got your numbers wrong there, pal. Let's look. Trump got 74 million. Joe Biden got 81 million. Joe Biden won the presidency.
Basically, probably chomping at the bit to back somebody moving forward to countermand this craziness that it's not even on the horizon, it is here. That's basically amongst us now. I don't know how that's done. There's, people with 30-pound brains probably can dream that up. I'm just a knuckle punch and grunt with big meat pumps, and it is what it is. All right, number 4, educate yourself on tradecraft because it works. Tradecraft has been used in various forms since probably the Roman times, moving forward till today. All right, why has it been so effective? Yeah, because it works. If it works for them, it'll work for you. You need to learn it. Now, there's classes on YouTube. There is all kinds of publications out there you can get your hands on. You can buy hard copy PDF Okay, there's several of the manuals from the U.S. War College floating around out there. You can find them in PDF format. I would suggest an older one because they're written not to college graduates, but to high school and slightly above graduates. And it's not rocket science. I mean, come on. You have Antifa and BLM knocking that shit out. Those guys have probably an average IQ of anywhere from 85 to 95. Okay, it's not rocket science. If they can successfully knock it out, so can we.
Oh,
Just
Terrence.
saying. All right, number 5. If you can financially, take the hit, if you can move your job, if you move your family, if you can do whatever you have to do, move to a red state. All right, I myself can't do that right now. I'm stuck up here in Michigan.
Oh, God, he lives in Michigan. Oh, God, no. Oh, why do all the whack jobs live here? John Doyle, this guy, me. What a nightmare.
Compatibility's up here.
Yes, please. If all the right-wingers want to move out of Michigan, please do. Please do. That would be excellent.
I have to take care of, but I do have a plan in place.
The one corn dude. Yeah, corn dude lives right down the street from me. I see him walking his dog sometimes, all corned out.
With a drop dead, criteria that will have me upend and get the fuck out of here. Now, I hope that doesn't happen. Wishful thinking. I hope we all sing Kumbaya and it goes back to checks and balances.
We have checks and balances already, Terrence. We have them. We have them.
And people don't get drunk on power, but...
Can you really determine who's drunk on power when you're drunk on being drunk? Because I don't think your judgment's really great right now.
Seeing what the new president has done in his first week and a half in office.
Oh no, he rejoined the Paris Climate Agreement and reinstated executive orders protecting trans and gay federal employees and ended the trans military ban and a variety of other good executive orders. The horror.
That's just not going to happen. It's not going to happen. All right, number 6. There's 4 parts to number 6. Number 1, get in shape. Get in shape. Push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run. Okay, after 6 p.m., I'm sure you live within running distance of a school. There won't be anybody there. Use the playground.
Please stay. No Terrence Pop fan should go within 500 feet of a school. Please stay away.
Those are obstacles that are there for a reason. And that's where you learn how to jump walls and climb ropes and do all the other horse shit that you might have to do, if it gets lively up in here. Because push-ups...
Someone asked me to share links again. Sure, in no particular order. Timestamps would always be helpful, of course, if you wanted to put some on there.
Sit-ups, 2-mile run. It's good, but it's not a be-all, end-all. Ideally, do the obstacle course, push-ups, sit-ups, 2-mile run, get yourself a 45-pound rucksack, and work on getting 12 miles underfoot in 3 hours or less. 4 hours is okay, too, but, 3 hours is, the basic Army standard. I could probably get down to that, but it would take me about 60 days, and there would be a whole assload of pain. I'm going to try to get there. We'll see. Number 2, get supplies. If you don't have supplies now, they are going to get scarcer and scarcer, and thus more expensive. Get them now. All right, when there's a will, there's a way. Just saying. Put together a plan. At what point do you leave and go to a red state? At what point do you get out of and away from the big cities and let them implode, because that's going to happen?
This is on YouTube, yes.
At what point is that going to happen? Are you going to wait?
Yes, I'm sure the place where all of the economic activity that matters in the United States, I'm sure those places are going to implode on themselves, and not small rural communities whose industry jobs have been shipped overseas by capitalists. You're nailing it.
Wait till you have 100 people out in front of your house? Because you can still possibly get away, but there will be all kinds of collateral damage, and you may or may not come up on, a blotter to be arrested immediately. Just saying.
Does he really think right-wing people are about to be, rounded up and put in camps? The level of delusion from these people is frightening.
Get a group. If you don't have a group, make a group. All right? 3 guys is better than 1 guy. 30 guys, broken down into 10-man groups is even better. Just saying. All right, we're moving over to the board here. All right, you got to bear with me. This is the 3rd time I've done this, so hopefully I worked it out, because, I had all kinds of technical difficulties, god damn it. All right, number 7. All right, like I said before, you got big tech is now going to be hand in hand with big government and the deep state. All right, now, if you think they were dangerous when it came to the re-election of President Trump, they're going to be 3 times as dangerous now that they're actually working lockstep with the government and they have the alphabet agencies.
What are you talking about? They're not.
Yeah.
You're getting banned off of social media because you're calling to violence.
Giving them the basically go ahead to do whatever the fuck they want. Because let's face it, they've been doing whatever the fuck they want since 9/11. The whole Patriarchy thing, there you go.
Oh, I guess you should probably blame conservatives for that, shouldn't you? And now, in fairness, let me be clear, basically everyone in Congress voted for that bullshit. But, the Republican response to 9/11, because they were in power during 9/11, had a pretty huge impact on the direction America's taken over the last 20 years, Terrence. Take some responsibility.
All right, now with the de-Google, get yourself a Linux phone. They're starting to come out now. Now, yes, they are older Android phones. So what? All right. What most people don't know.
Does he think the FBI can't figure out how to get into your fucking phone because it's Linux? I think the FBI can figure out Linux. I would imagine most of the people in the FBI cybersecurity division probably use Linux in their personal life because they're probably computer nerds.
A majority of Google's phones and apps are open source. So that means you can find other apps that are just as good or slightly below what Google has to offer. And you basically are directly cutting out the big tech companies out of your life. You're not indirectly cutting them out of your life because you still have the mobile carriers and so forth. All right, but it can be done. You can find these products. You can look for them on YouTube. They're coming out, and I can almost guarantee you there are companies out there hey, they're going to have 82 million people wanting these phones. Fuck it, we're doing it.
I don't even understand what he thinks that'll accomplish. Does he think that, does he think the Department of Homeland Security or whoever can't tap his phone if it's based on Linux? Why would he think that? What?
All right. Along with this, learn Linux. Learn Linux. Get yourself a PC. Load Linux onto it. Do your research, figure out how it works. You can even, get the Linux, have a GUI interface, which is a graphic interface. This is what, Windows does. And
yes, Terrence, we know what a fucking GUI is. It's 2021. The brand new technology of the graphical user interface. Ooh.
Open source apps that are just as good, if not better, than a lot of...
Next thing you're going to tell me your computer can say hello world.
The stuff Microsoft has to offer. All right, and Apple. Okay, now, the products that Apple uses and their operating system is closed loop, just like Microsoft Office and Microsoft Windows is closed loop. So I can almost guarantee you those big companies are, are turning into a brain trust, and they're filling all the loopholes with all kinds of ways they could track you. Best way to do that.
What do you mean? Do you think this is new? Terrence, you are tracked all the time with your phone. It's not being accessed at all times by a person, but if the FBI wants your location, they will have your location yesterday. Your phone has GPS on it. Your phone is never, under any circumstance, if you have a phone, is not going to be your phone is not going to be untraceable. Literally, unless you're like someone like the president who gets a phone that costs thousands and thousands of dollars and is intentionally made as to prevent people from being able to hack it or get information from it or whatever.
That is get rid of Microsoft, get rid of Apple, and get rid of Google. All right.
If you want to break up the big tech companies, please do. I got nothing against that. The reason he wants to do it is stupid, but sure, fine. Please. Break up these giant companies. I'd love it.
I myself am going to have to get up to speed on that, but, you know, it is what it is. All right. Number 10. Get yourself up to speed on using radios. AM, FM, UHF, CBs, what have you. All right, now, radios have been used since, I don't know, slightly after they were invented, to do all kinds of nefarious behaviors. Okay?
Now it's the fans of Terrence Pop who get to do nefarious behavior over the radio.
And
when was this uploaded? Today.
And they are probably just as good now. Number 1, special use tradecraft, and I'll go through some of those classes.
If you use a radio to broadcast, do you understand that radios broadcast, right? They broadcast, meaning anyone who is in the range of that transmission, and even if you, like, scramble it, they can decode it, and I guarantee the United States government can decode a scrambled radio signal or whatever. Like, that's the worst way to communicate if you're trying to get secret messages around. Broadcasting it to people that anyone can pick up on? What the heck?
All right. Learn antenna theory. Now, if you know how to use an AM radio and you know antenna theory, you can set up your antennas to shoot along an azimuth, and it's very hard to RDF those transmissions.
I'm pretty sure the federal government can get your terrorist transmissions.
Because they go along the azimuth, number 1. Number 2, you know, if you can talk to the other side of the planet if you're willing to bounce them off the ionosphere, and that may or may not be able to be picked up by a satellite if they're listening for you. I don't know for sure, but antenna theory and radio use is going to be a big key in any operations or nefarious activities moving forward. All right, and it's not that expensive. Get yourself a bunch of old radio wire. You can get it on eBay. It's dirt cheap. And most of these radios are relatively inexpensive as well.
Don't you need, like, a license to use this sort of equipment and broadcast with it? I'm pretty sure you need to be registered in order to use, like, a CB radio or a radio broadcast thing. Yeah, the FCC will find you.
Setting up a base station for, you know, the 3 up here, and then that gets a little pricey, but it's right around $1,200. You know, if you don't have that kind of money, you know, a lot of these other radios, you can put, you know, get something together for like $250 or below. All right, number 12, find a veteran who's willing to honor their oath.
Well, this is just a straight up call for violence, isn't it?
I'm betting most of them are probably doing cheetah flips now, biting at the chance to honor their oaths.
Again, in case you want these links for absolutely no reason, with perhaps some timestamps, like this timestamp at 18 minutes. You know, there's that one, and where was the FBI one? Hold on. I don't know. I don't know why you would want these 2 links next to each other, but you know. In case you want to do something with those 2 links, please do.
I took 8 of them. I know I am. Now, if you find a vet, great, but look for these veterans. 11 Bravos, infantry guys, great to have. 0311, Marine infantry, great to have. Scouts, good to have. Armor, good to have. Now, if you can, get your hands on an Airborne Ranger or a Green Beret. All right, there aren't a lot of guys walking around like me who have 3 wars under their belt, 2 combat tours in 2 different wars, was almost killed in 2, who are infantry, paratrooper, Airborne Ranger, and Green Beret. Okay, and I have all of the crazy qualifications and bells and whistles that go along with all that. There aren't a lot of guys like me out there, all right? Very few. Okay, there are even few who are willing to put their face on camera and talk about shit like this, because this is the reality on the ground. I'm just saying. All right, 13, get on the goddamn dark web. I'm gonna say it one more time. Get on goddamn dark web. Get yourself a Tor browser. Okay, once you get yourself a Tor browser, you can do a search for dark web links to get you in the door, and then you can do your research and find out what's going on. Now, on the dark web, they've been selling counterfeit money. They've been selling passports. They've been selling fake IDs for virtually every country out there, and passports for, oh, that's right, for every country out there.
Is he telling people to go commit a felony by buying fake documents? Because that's illegal.
Okay, you can buy a sex slave. I don't recommend that. There's all kinds of crazy, illegal porn. And they sell guns and all the other crazy stuff. And they've been doing it for years. And you want to know why? Because it works. Now, most people don't know this about VPN and a lot of these, secure messaging apps. All right. If you're a U.S. citizen and you come up with a crazy new, encryption technology, by law, you have to share it with the federal government or you will go to jail. All right? Now, suffice it to say, if that's in place, I bet you 10 to 1 that these messaging apps, they have to share their super secret methods and keys with the big alphabet agency government.
I don't think NordVPN is going to beat the FBI.
So they can look and read what's going on. Beware VPN. Beware of all the super secret messaging, apps out there and so forth. All right, just beware. Tor browser does this. You download it on your computer. You check for updates. You turn it on. There may or may not be certain settings or programs running in the background of your parent operating system that you will have to deactivate. And a lot of the newer Apple stuff doesn't allow you to do that. And I think the next update of Windows is probably going to shut that down as well. Thus, go to Linux. Just saying. All right. Now, if you can disable that stuff, this is how Tor browser works. You go through the United States to whatever, servers, bounce you around. Then you get to the Tor one, bounces you out of country to another country. From that country to a second country, from that second country to a third country, and then to the United States. And it strips away your MAC address and your IP address. Thus it works. Get up to speed on that. All right, now, I am still going to cover some craziness as it ensues. I'm going to try to go over tradecraft, break it down to the grunt level so you guys can figure it out. And I am going to continue to cover Red Pill and MGTOW subjects because there is no shortage of stupid feminists and women out there.
Wait a minute. Are you telling me right-wing terrorists are also misogynists? What a stunning turn of events. Was this directed by M. Night Shyamalan?
And that's it.
Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. Hey, what's going on? Why are all these links posting all of a sudden? Oh God, is my chat broken? Oh no. More random links are being posted. What is happening? I've been hacked from the deep dark web with the VPN. Please do something. There are 300 people here. If at least 5 of you sent that where it needs to go, it might save someone's life. I'm not even joking. Terrence is off his rocker, okay? Terrence is not okay, and he needs a little reality check. I think the authorities should be alerted to what he's doing. Okay? Thank you, Chozolor, for doing that. So that's Terrence. Horrifying. What a horrifying person. Let me remind you, by the way, that his entire ideology and his misanthropy comes from the fact that he got divorced. He got divorced, and all of a sudden he thinks insurrection is a good thing to do. Good job, Terrence. You goddamn terrorist. I don't know. I'm probably done for the day. 3.5 hours. That's probably a good stream. Let me get to the bits messages. Logarth with 20 bits. For the record, I've prepared myself by drinking red wine through Twizzlers for the last half hour. Ew. MMO addicted with 1,000 bits. Wow. Says, do it. I will bloody fund them. Querulous Artisan with 20 bits says, I have written cracked crossover fan fiction better than this. Doodleburb with 20 bits, evil doesn't fight good, it fights evil. This isn't normal darkness, this is advanced darkness. Cotton Candy 903 with 20 bits, his book sounds like a poorly written fan fiction. The Profane Priestess with 20 bits, starting to feel like the 6th was our beer hall putsch. When will they try again? Well, it took Hitler about 10 years, so I guess we'll see. Fu Manchu with 20 bits. How much do you want to bet that Terrence owns a set of calipers? Querulous Artisan with 20 bits. Is it a requirement to be a whack job to live in Michigan? Because if so, I got that down pat. It must be. Sleepy little satyr with 100 bits. Hannah, help. My dad called the other day and said that Democrats and Republicans are both corrupt. Then followed it up with, they should have brought 100 million people instead. Then it would work, in reference to the insurrection. Once I told him that was stupid, he just said, you'll understand when you're older. I've come to the conclusion that my father has no brain cells. He probably has brain cells. He's been radicalized by the right. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits says, 30 guys in one spot makes it... Oh, nope, not reading that. Fu Manchu with 20 bits says, yes, please get conservatives to all live in only a few states. It would own me so hard. I would be so #triggered if conservatives could only vote in a handful of states come federal elections. I would be so owned. Archangel 13579 with 50 bits says, wait till he learns most major Linux flavors are sponsored by big tech like Google. Django Fett, but it's spelled like Django from Django Unchained, which is a really good name. Is Apple the mark of the beast? Everything's the mark of the beast. Low Tech 85, thanks for following. Bardlock Moses with 50 bits. Nope, coming from a vet. Andrew Batella with 20 bits says, an encryption technology isn't the same as a private key. Telling the government about the composition of your locks, which I doubt you're required to do, isn't the same as giving them keys to your build. Mitchell Drummer with 225 bits, thank you. Killjoy 102 with 100 bits says, so I was reading a report that said even if Democrats were to adopt nearly all of the positions Republicans want, it wouldn't mean they would vote for them because they don't want policies, they want their people. How are we supposed to negotiate with these people? You do not. You don't. You don't negotiate with them. We don't negotiate with terrorists. We're gonna raid squid. Oops. Need control C, not control. What's his first name again? Terrence. Terrence is his first name. D Lounger, thank you for following. Oh yes, of course. Everyone, thank you for coming to the stream. If you liked what you saw and you're not already a follower, give me a follow. If not, thanks for coming anyway. Tomorrow we'll be back with Tinfoil Tuesday. We'll be covering all sorts of crazy conspiracy theory videos and debunking them. It'll be a good time. I appreciate all of my wonderful viewers. Chat is valid and wonderful, and I love you all. Especially Baha, if she's still here. And yeah, I don't know. Ooh, my raid isn't... That's weird. It looks like my raid... It's saying... Hold on, let me try the raid command again. Because it didn't look like it was going to work. Weird. It's saying 0 viewers already. Hopefully that's just an... It's like a glitch, maybe. But hopefully it's just a glitch in the counter. Hopefully you guys actually will be raided there. I don't know if raid is broken or what. If it's broken, then go check out Antipodian Squid anyway, but I'm going to try the raid command earlier. It happened to the serfs earlier. It might not work then. It worked anyway for them? Okay, good. So hopefully this will work. Thanks everyone again. Have a wonderful evening. I'll see you guys tomorrow.